Okay, perps, we're going live. Let me make sure everything else is set. And I'm still lingering in John's stream and trying to do homework with kiddos. Um, so this first minute or two is what it is, guys. Just hang with me. John Trump or Crump. God, I can't freaking talk for days. His mom going on about the home invasion right now is hysterical. Um, you seriously have to love it. So anyway, I'm kind of dragging feet, guys, trying to do a few other things and get this rolling. So I understand. Just hang out. We'll get there tonight. We'll get there. Maybe, kind of, sort of, a little bit, almost. So give it a sec. We'll see who all we got popping up. I know brother P38 was already in here. He was the first one in here. What is up, my brother? I still got to get up there and have another dinner with him. He is a awesomely cool dude. Sam of Anarchy, my brother. What is happening? Fluffy Bunny Arsenal checked in. What is up, my brother? I got a good idea. You're still in the same chat I'm in. Uh, yeah, it's just one of those nights, man. When I originally went to set the stream, I didn't see John and everybody popping up. So I was like, "Screw it, I'm just going to start it and then we'll run it." And then they started, and I was like, well, shit. I had to change the time on my stream. Skillionaire, what is up, my brother? And for you guys that don't know, Skilly is an awesomely cool dude and has a chat. What do you normally do Sundays? Oh God, find another tab and I'll throw my brother Skilly up. Internet is starting to act stupid. I'm gonna miss. There he is. I'm gonna miss Legally Armed tonight. I was gonna go later tonight, guys, and then like I'm just gonna go ahead. I decided to go ahead and set it up when I didn't see John and everything. And then I just decided, screw it, we're just going to run it. Uh, Sunday's 1 o'clock. Yep. There's Skilly's channel. So yeah, I decided I was gonna run it. I was busy this weekend working on stuff. And while I'm waiting to kind of fire up some other stuff, let me see whether I can pull a video real fast. If I can. Oh, I'm not used to this new computer. I'm not used to the ports and everything on this new computer. So give me a sec. If I get a freaking cable. Say that's a tight port. See if I can bring this over real fast. I'll show you guys something I worked on this weekend. It'll be it'll be cool. I promise. Well, as long as you think we'll see. Ta-da. Hey, what's up, my brother? And we're gonna get into the actual topic here just a sec. Um, good lord. Give me a sec, guys. It's one of those things. New computer, trying to work some stuff out real quick. Why my camera went down, I ain't figured it out yet. I'm working. Give me a sec. Welcome to the shit show. Let's see if this thing acts halfway decent. La, da, da, da. See if I can bring my beautiful face back up. There I is. I don't know why this thing is long. Anyway, I'll look at it. If I can get it to come up, I'll get it to come up. I'll show you guys. Put my AK pistol and did a Cerakote on it this weekend that turned out pretty damn slick. So that and my truck and did some other things. So technical difficulties. Pain in the ass is what they really are. So I allowed that. Allowed that. Open folder. I got to do something about the storage on my freaking phone because it is slim these days. See, let me back up a folder and see. I really hate devices where I can't just pull up exactly what I want on the device. I'm pretty sure none of these are what I'm looking for. All these systems make this so freaking retarded, man. There's a file there. I need to open the file. That's all I need to do. Nothing pretty. Just open the file. And like I said, I don't think any of those, no, because that's that. Good. Why are the freaking last videos? Oh man, there's days I might have to try to share it. There are days I really love technology, and there are days I really hate technology. And the dude to come up with the way to go back and between like an iPhone where I can't just plug it in and pull up what I want. I'd really love to burn his house. What's up, Red Dawn? What's happening, brother? Really, really love. Let me see if I can real fast, and then I'll try to shoot. Uh, fine. Where's the video? New video this week. Give me a sec, guys. I realize it's a shit show. I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna kick it over as a short, and I'll bring it back up. Chessboard, what's up, my brother? Give me a sec, guys. I am. I'm gonna post this as short, and then I'll show it. It won't take long for a short to show up. Nick, what's up, my brother? How's it going? I'll go through all the other stuff. Show that. I'll show it in a minute. Anyway, um, what I wanted to do, I actually wanted to do it Sunday because hell, there was video I wanted to do Friday and video I wanted to do Sunday. Um, there's a lot of video that I wanted to do lately. I've just been busy. So and I think I'll start off with Sunday. So Sunday, the House in Colorado decided they were going to pass their assault weapons ban. Most legislatures you'll see they're not running on Sundays, and I don't know what their um, track record is for running on a Sunday. I just find it funny that the Sunday is when they choose to push through their assault weapons ban. Um, or should I go? Fuck it. We'll go to the House first, and then we'll go to Colorado after that. Because the House video, basically, the pretty much same day we heard the ATF releasing their new rule, I'm poking around doing my normal thing, and these Democrats are up on the House floor pushing for even more gun control. So, as usual, guys, you know my channel. We kind of show you what's going on. And if you guys want to talk about something, we talk about it. But otherwise, we just point out the absolute insanity of gun control for the most part. And that's what we're gonna be doing. Okay, hold on. Let me fix another tab real fast because I'm gonna have to do some swoopage real quick. Any of you guys that are out there that got wrenches that have been with me for a little while, go ahead and post your channels also while we're just doing kind of the general um, housekeeping over here. Can I do it there? And that way we can get everybody acquainted. I know MGTOW's got a channel. Chess has a channel. Sam's got a channel. I'm not looking at the names in chat right now, guys. So if I'm missing anybody right away, I'm sorry. And I posted Skills channel, Tactical Skillionaire. Did my video post? Yes. And I'll show you guys this. This is some of the work I did this weekend. And some of you guys will pick up something that's a little bit different about this and maybe a little bit on the edge. But if you know, you know. So that's a custom Cerakote job that I did this weekend on my personal stuff. That's a Romanian built Spark kit that I built. Shit, I want to say it's probably been 3 years ago now. And the gun's been rebuilt a couple of times since then. That's the original when I was doing the Cerakote. There was still some stuff kind of tweaked in after that, but I wanted a Cerakote that I didn't want anything flashy. Like a lot of the Cerakotes, if some of you guys have seen me do, they've all been real muted colors, woodland colors, kind of stuff where if I threw the son bitch out in the woods, it'd be hard to find. That's what I was going for. So that's my baby. That's the one. If you saw me on the what I call it, the Choppa video, that's the one I did the El Presidente drill with, which is always fun to shoot. All right, what's your next homework? Math. All right, well, let's get to work on it. Sorry, trying to do this, clean house, do math. It is a life. Mr. Bullshitter, what's up, my brother? One Love Design checked in. What is up, my brother? I'll show you. Hold on, let me stop this share because I think I've got it right here. I've got one. I can't remember exactly, but One Love, did I send you this one as the extra plasma cut that I don't have boating accidents? So yeah, this is the I don't have boating accidents plasma cut. What was one they were talking about today? Oh, that's another one. There were a few others I've got laying around. Yeah, that's what I thought. I couldn't remember whether I sent you that one or whether I sent you one of the other ones that I had a couple of laying around. So anyway, let's go over to, this was the house last, Thursday or Friday. I didn't get a chance to share it out. Just busy. But anyway, we're going to look at this, as painful as this is, because if nothing else, I'm going to let you know what these freaking gun grabbing morons are saying. That way, when someone says, oh, they never said that, you can tell them, yeah, well, I watched Coop's Pain in the Ass show, and that's exactly what that guy said.
Extraneous material into the record.
Without objection.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr.
5
Speaker.
by 5 sounds good.
I rise today. I rise
No more
this
halt,
week
please. This is
with a heavy
just
heart.
bad.
It is exactly 1 year since tragedy struck my community
BB,
in
what's
Louisville,
up?
Kentucky. It was just last year. It was a Monday morning, the day after Easter. The first day.
Remember, this was, I
from
think this
spring
was
break.
the day they released their
You know
gun
what kind of day
dealer
this was.
definition.
It's a Kentucky spring day. The air was crisp. The sun was bright.
Women were wearing
perfect.
pink panties.
That type of spring morning that has a sense of rebirth and renewal. Unfortunately, it didn't last. Spring's ritual beauty was shattered by the unfamiliar booms from an AR-15, the acrid smells of smoke, the sounds of sirens, of screams. It was a Monday morning, April 10th, 2023, that a lone gunman took an assault rifle into the Old National Bank on Main Street in Louisville, Kentucky, and opened fire on his colleagues. He took the lives of 5 innocent Louisvillians: Josh Barrick, Dina Eckert, Jim Tutt, Juliana Farmer, and my friend, Tommy Elliott. 8 other people were injured, including Officer Nick Wilt.
You planning on hooking the pavement up, ain't you? Chambered, what's up, my brother?
When he ran headfirst into gunfire. His heroism saved lives. But he took an AR-15 round to the head. Miraculously, he survived.
I thought AR-15s decapitated.
He continues to recover and gets stronger every day.
They're the fastest, most
That wasn't it.
lethal rounds on the planet.
Just hours later, and just a few blocks away, Siobhan Moore was killed at the Jefferson Community and Technical College. Another young woman was struck by bullets in the crossfire between classes.
Hold on.
Thankfully, she survived. That was a Monday morning. It got worse. There was another mass shooting in Louisville later that week. Combined with the tragedies of everyday gun violence, 5 killed by gunfire by week's end. It was awful. It ripped into us as a community. The scars are still there for so many to see, especially now, especially this week. I think any decent person hearing this story recognizes that it's tragic. Anyone with an iota of compassion for the families, for the lives lost, for the senseless waste of human potential, knows how sad this is. But if I told you this story 20 years ago, the world would have stopped. It would have been all you heard about on the news, on the internet, newspapers, a national crisis that would have demanded urgent action and all of our attention. Today, it was off the news quickly. Why? I can answer that. We've grown accustomed to this. Unbelievably, this is our norm. Now, Louisville, Kentucky, on a perfect spring morning, the day after Easter, the first day back from spring break.
Again, remember, this is where they're pushing all this gun dealer shit.
In the horrors it experienced from a mass shooting that day.
And let me pause this for a second.
It just got added to it.
And let me make a point right here. And this, when they're speaking on the House floor like this, this becomes part of the historical record for the time. So someone 30 years from now wants to know what's going on. They look the record up. This is what they see. Democrats understand they don't have to win this fight to ban all these guns this week, next year, next 10 years. They know they just have to control the narrative to be able to get their gun bans done. And we're seeing all these fights in the courts. Colorado, we're going to look at them. They just passed their assault weapons ban through the House. Now it's got to go to the Senate. And their assault weapons ban basically bans anything semi-automatic with any more than one feature, which is my carry gun more than likely would be banned under their bullshit. So understand, this is all about the narrative. Has jack shit to do with facts, but them building this historical record in the future will become part of the facts. And that's what drives me so fucking crazy about some of this shit. It's what drives me crazy about the media, who is completely on their side, is not an unbiased media who will not question these things and will not push back on it.
What day of April is it?
It is the 15th, baby. Okay. What's up, Vanessa Kitty, my sister? How you doing? So let me let this play some more. And I'm going to shut my camera down so I can try to let this play, and hopefully my connection won't be too big of a shithead right now.
To a very long list of American cities experiencing this tragedy. Gone are the days of recognizing American cities.
Yeah, one love, but they're pushing hard to get even more done than that.
The city of brotherly love, the Big Apple, the gateway to the West, the City of Angels, the Big Easy. No. Now we define our cities by their
Notice almost
presidents.
every city he mentioned right
Aurora,
there is a complete
Uvalde,
shithole.
Las Vegas, Highland Park, Newtown, Orlando, Buffalo, Nashville, El Paso, Monterey Park.
And guess who all
Louisville,
those cities
Kentucky.
are controlled by for the most part?
It's one of those moments as a lifelong Louisvillian you'll always remember. I know where I was when I got the call. I was still with my family. And in these jobs, there's times you try to shield your children from some of the things you have to deal with, hear, or learn. But it was too shocking. I looked at my wife and I said, there's been a mass shooting. My elementary school daughter heard me. Her face sank. She was ashen. And she just looked at us. She said, which school? Of course, that was her first reaction. In elementary schools, they now do active shooter drills instead of tornado drills. Gun violence is the #1 killer of kids in America.
No, he can't make it through part of this statement without lying through his teeth.
And even though it broke my heart,
we've been through those numbers on this channel.
And maybe it should. We can't let it break our brains.
Vanessa, I don't know about waiting on the Supreme Court.
I think we agree that 20 years ago, these tragedies would have hit much harder.
And I'll pause this again for a second.
Anomaly instead of the norm.
Because I want everybody to hear exactly what this dude's saying. But they are playing so many games right now. Dragging their feet on cases they'll know they'll lose. Bouncing back and forth in between a district court, a circuit court, back down to state courts. Because honestly and truly, and God, I hope I'm wrong, when the Democrats win this next election, if they can't get more liberal bodies on the Supreme Court, naturally, they will pack the Supreme Court. And when they do that, all of these cases will be pushed up the rocket docket, and we're going to lose every single damn one of them. And that's just the way that's going to roll. And MC, yeah, you're 100% right. The #1 killer of actual children is abortion. Hands down. Followed by car accidents, followed by, or actually I think, no, it's maybe car accidents and then poisonings by household chemicals. Guns is so far down that line, it's not even funny. The only way you get to that number is if you add in the people who are actually committing the violence into the numbers of the people being killed, and then you get to that number. It's completely and absolutely a lie. It's more than just intellectually dishonest. Man against the masses, what's up, my brother? Impossible, whiny bitch forever. Yeah, dude, I wish. I seriously wish. Yeah, Lightning, dude, I have no faith in the Supreme Court. I don't. There are a lot of cases that they could have taken up in recent times where they could have solved a lot of this, at least temporarily. But they didn't want to touch it. Even when they went through Heller, when they went through Bruin, the way those opinions were written, they left so much meat on the bone for these anti-gun pieces of shit that it's just not even funny. Bruin should have been a one-page decision. The Second Amendment guarantees an individual right to own arms, and it shall not be infringed, period. And then the rest of that page should have been all these laws are unconstitutional and the government needs to grab a giant pogo stick with a dildo sticking out of the seat and just fuck off all the way down the road. That should have been that decision. And I'm sorry for people that may not like the humor. Well, welcome to me. It's just one of those days. But that should have been that decision. Ting Ting, what's up, my sister? How you and the kiddos doing?
What's changed? Why is it different?
Yeah, more worried
Well,
about rate of fire. And that is
I can
going
point to
to
one
be
thing.
something biting us for a long
The assault
time.
weapon ban has expired. And since then, the gun culture has exploded. And I don't mean hunting and responsible gun ownership. I mean the toxic culture promoted by gun manufacturers and the NRA. The idea
other words,
that
they're gonna be
weapons
going
of
after
war
Plaka.
are toys and status symbols. That the right to arm yourself with the capacity to kill in mass trumps our right to live. America's epidemic of gun violence that takes
No,
more
we
than
can see what Mom brings over
40,000
here.
lives per year
Okay.
and more children than any other cause almost always has a slew of common denominators.
Again, oh my God, the so-called facts these people use are so wrong. It's not even funny. Talk about marketing to kids and this gun culture. We didn't have shootings like this when you couldn't go in a toy store without having 1,000 play guns in there for kids to go play cops and robbers, cowboys and Indians, without air guns being right there, BB, one Daisy Red Ryder one pumps and stuff where kids could go shoot and play. We never had shootings like this. So I still submit to the class. The only thing that has changed in this country is now we have had 80 years of leftists running our education system. And that is what seriously changed in America. A couple of generations with the left running the education system. That bled into the courts, that bled into government, that bled into culture. And that's where we're at right now. Man against the masses. I don't know. I think I'm a little bit of a sadist. A little bit, maybe a lot. But and this is probably one of the actual honest points about stuff. There are a lot of people that will focus on little snippets from what the left says. There are a lot of people that will focus on this little blurb off something. I want to give people the entire text of the conversation and then let people make their minds up about it. It's probably, to think about it, that's probably where my channel started out. Hold on, so I'm not playing video. Let me play me. So that's probably where my channel started out, because there were a lot of people that report on a gun bill that was in the Congress or the House or something like that. I went in and I took their law and then edited it into existing law so that you could read through it and see exactly how the law would work. So it wasn't by opinion. It was, this is the whole deal here. This is how this will work. And when I started doing things like oral arguments or congressional hearings and stuff like that, I didn't want to do snippets about it. I wanted people to be able to see the whole conversation, because I get so sick and tired of people on the left or the right pulling one small chunk of information out and making their entire case off that one situation or that one, nugget of information. So that's why I think what I do. And ultimately, listening to a lot of this stuff, it really cements my position in the fact that the government has no power to regulate arms. and they never should. And then I just get to share the pain with you guys. It's been a while since I've done a share the pain stream, which technically all my streams are share the pain streams, but I think that's why I do such long form content, and I love the long form content because I'll listen to it all day long. Oh, dude, Man Against the Masses. My students think I have fucking Tourette's because I'll be listening to a congressional hearing. If I'm not listening to it and streaming it at the same time, and they just see me walking around like a psychotic. But yeah, that's, dude, yeah. This stuff's painful. But it kind of comes down to the whole know your enemy deal, know their arguments, know where they're coming from, know the narrative that they're going to be pushing. That's where this comes in. I'm not whoever news channel going to give you a 5-second snippet on something. Even my videos when I was doing the paper cuts videos, where I'd break down a law and edit it into the actual text of the existing law. You know, those videos were 15 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that. The streams like this, I get you guys in here and we all get to chat about this together and just, you know, put our opinions out there. And then I want all you guys, when you got channels, share your channels and get everybody mixed in. I've said it before. I want my chats to be like a mosh pit. If you're here for a while, if you prove you're not a complete moron, I want that channel posted. Even if I don't agree with everything someone says, I want everybody sharing the information. Agree, disagree, whatever. There are plenty of people that would disagree with me about a lot of things. Yeah, Lightning. And that's a hard freaking pill, man, because I used to have a lot of faith in our courts too, whether it was state courts, district courts. I used to have a lot of faith in them. Not anymore. Not after listening to the oral arguments we've gone through, not after seeing the cases that have come through. And there was another case that wasn't involved in a huge gun case the other day that I listened to that was just insane. But you do need to be aware of this stuff. You absolutely need to be aware of it. And this is our place to vent, because we can't call these sons of bitches up every day and tell them to fuck off. We can get together, kind of vent that energy, tell these dudes to fuck off here, and then maybe if we write them, text them, message them, do it in at least a little bit of a civil way. I don't see how Brooke Cheney, Tony Simon, I can't remember how many guys that we know that have testified in front of Congress. It would be really hard for me to be as civil as they are testifying in front of these people. Because the overwhelming instinct I would have to be to tell them all to fuck off. You don't have this power. You're not granted in the Constitution. Matter of fact, the Constitution limits the power for these things. The Constitution isn't a popularity contest. The Constitution said they were existing rights. This government shall protect these existing rights, and the government can eat a dick. It's not a popularity contest. And our rights aren't based off of what evil people do with their rights. One Love, it depends on the congressman. You could get some better attention that way. I'm just saying. I won't say anything about a porn video shot in the House chambers. Back to our regularly scheduled program. Well, not so regularly scheduled, but you guys know me.
Firearm, often a semi-automatic, purchased under a legal framework.
No,
that only
they don't care about the
exists
Constitution at
in
all.
America.
After Clarence
And
Thomas so
done
hard these days.
absolutely nothing about it. Many of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle insist that this is a coincidence, that the very instrument of death for hundreds of thousands of our fellow Americans makes us safer. And that the more we have, the safer we'll be. That somehow, if every American had a gun, rates of gun violence would decrease.
They would.
It would be comically absurd if it weren't so dangerous and so heartbreaking. But it should break our hearts. Each time, each loss of life, as if it were happening 20, 25 years ago, the gut-wrenching disbelief we felt over Columbine. We can't let it break our brains. It isn't
The funny thing about Columbine
complicated.
is guns were their second
This is not the world
option.
we are forced to live in.
They wanted to be a bombing because they
world
knew
we
the
have
bombing would be
chosen
more
to
effective.
live in.
They just sucked
And
at
we
making
in
bombs.
this body can do something about it. No. Nobody is talking about coming to your house and taking your guns. Nobody wants to stop hunting trips. We're talking about the most basic common sense
Where is
measures,
hunting in the Second
like
Amendment?
safe storage, waiting periods,
Or
universal
any state
background
constitution?
checks, stopping the free flow of assault weapons and armor-piercing ammo. Will these measures end gun violence in America? No. Sadly, they will not. Will they save American lives? Absolutely. Immediately. We can debate how many lives.
They
but
might save a
isn't
life or
even
two,
one
but they are
worth
going to
saving.
cost 10 times more than that.
This is not some fringe fantasy either. These are literally some of the most popular bipartisan proposals in America. They are approved by 70, 80, 90% of the American public.
Not even close.
The Biden administration announced a new rule expanding background checks for gun sales. This closes the gun show loophole, ensuring that guns aren't sold or traded for profit without a background check. Good. And there's more to do. Our constituents are crying out to us. We're all tired of seeing children killed in their schools and worrying that ours could be next. Common sense gun reforms. Not only are they overwhelmingly
Remember,
popular,
this is the
everywhere,
narrative.
they're
The
necessary.
start of the narrative that's going to continue to be pushed.
But while they're overwhelmingly popular everywhere, they're not overwhelmingly popular where they need to be. Here, in this building.
So we get back to the gun lobby.
Last year, after the shooting in Louisville, I approached many of my colleagues across the aisle. I did it one-on-one, not in front of the cameras, not for social media, but to really ask and say, I think we agree. We want our communities to be safer. Where can we meet?
Oh, that was Dianne Feinstein,
What
Gene.
can we do to protect our kids and our communities?
If I had the votes, Mr. and Mrs. American, turn them all in.
I had really great conversations. Talked about things that we have in common, things that we can do. But routinely, I was told, but at the end of the day, you know that's not something we can get through here.
No, at the start of the day, you can fuck off.
We're ready.
And you can continue to fuck off.
We're waiting.
And when you think you've fucked off enough, keep fucking off.
The American people are tired of waiting. We can start saving lives today, and we know it. I know that my friends on the other side of the aisle are good people, and I mean that. I don't know in this instance, though.
Why does this dude remind me of the
freaking by simply putting these things to
if you ever saw the old movie The Lost Boys, he reminds me of the head evil vampire.
Gun violence right now is a choice, and it's time to make a new one. We can start saving lives today, and we should. Mr. Speaker, I appreciate the time, and I
Remember,
now
this
yield
all becomes part of
to
the historical
gentlewoman
record.
from Michigan, my colleague, Representative Tlaib.
Library of Congress.
Thank you so much to my
100
colleague
years
for
from
his
now,
courage
someone
in
looks up the
trying
debate.
to save lives,
They'll see
especially
this.
the lives of our children, and trying to, again, to address the crisis that we have in our country. It is an honor, always an honor, to be able to serve the families of the 12th Congressional District in Michigan. Before I was a congresswoman, my 2 sons made me a mother.
My connection
I'm
gets
speaking to
stable.
you
I'll
all
put
as a
myself back
mother.
on camera.
More than anything. And it is important to understand, this is a true fact, that gun violence is the leading cause of death for children and teens in
A
our
true
country.
fact.
As of today, there have been
This is a
already
complete
been
lie.
106 mass shootings. That's more mass shootings than the days in the year so far. The fact that gun violence in our communities that is happening every single day doesn't even make the news anymore. Congress has become so numb, this institution, truly numb to the gun violence crisis in our country, that they're not even paying attention any longer.
Hopefully this video is
cannot
not as
continue like this,
choppy as
Mr.
what I think
Speaker.
it is.
I refuse to accept the death of kids. Gun violence prevention bill under this Republican majority. Guns now have more rights in our country than women do. It's sick. It's disgusting that campaign donations from the NRA and gun manufacturers have bought.
Okay. These people make my damn head hurt. Because it's a Monday and I didn't sleep worth shit last night. Let me put myself back on camera. She just literally said that guns have more rights than women. Women don't need 3-day waiting periods, 10-day waiting periods, background checks, 4473s, checks for criminal records, or anything else to do anything they do. Okay. The one difference in between a woman and a couple differences in between a woman and a gun is, one, if I want to unload the gun, I can pull the magazine out, clear the chamber, and no one gets hurt. The other difference is between a gun is my guns can't do anything to hurt another person without me using it for that. Whereas women, if you've ever pissed one off, will brain you with a frying pan and you'll never see it coming. I'm trying to be as polite as I can be in that situation. But Jesus, these people are fucking insane. Gabriel, what's up, my brother? Welcome to the shit show. It's just, oh my God. I guarantee you, lady, all the Palestinians that you support, Hamas, have killed way more people than any so-called assault weapon I own. Oh, there's so many different ways that could go. But these are the idiots that make our laws. Shit that will send you to prison for decades, if not get you shot in the face by the police, the government. These are the people that make those laws.
In action and the silence of many of my colleagues, and block many, many important major reforms that we need to keep our community safe across our nation. Every one of our colleagues that refuses to vote for common sense gun violence prevention, I truly believe, have blood on their hands. Responsibility. It's clear.
I should go rub red paint
They
all
value
over my
guns
hands
more
right
than the
now.
lives of our children. Our children truly believe, I truly believe this, they deserve so much more than, again, our inaction and our continued silence. Thank you so much. And again, thank you to my colleague. I know I've seen him on this floor, being a father, being a congressman, and we know what is at stake. And again, no parent ever should worry about their child when they leave home, that they would be a victim of gun violence. Thank you. I yield back to
Thank you, Rep. Tlaib. And as a parent, this is heartbreaking. I had a parent tell me after the Uvalde shooting, they now look at their child's
I didn't
shoes
know
every
what's
day before they go to
heartbreaking about
school,
raising.
just
What?
in case they have to recognize
Huh?
them.
Why do we never have
I always said
Why do we never have
every
fun?
policymaker in America should have been required to drop their kids off at
Fishing
school
the other
day
weekend
after
wasn't
Uvalde
fun.
like I did.
Look, I'm talking
This is
about
something we can do something
what I
about.
said.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to now yield to my colleague, the gentleman from California, Rep. DeSaulnier.
Thank you for the time and for hosting this discussion tonight. When we talk about gun violence and all its horror, the images that often come to mind are mass shootings, assaults, and murders. These tragedies are so important, an important part of the conversation, and unfortunately, too much a discussion in American everyday life, but do not represent how most Americans will encounter gun violence. Every day in America, up to two-thirds of the gun deaths come about because of gun suicides, which account, again, for a disproportionate amount of gun deaths in the United States every day. This wasn't about self-defense. This was about Americans taking their own lives. 35 years ago, on April 20th, I lost my own father.
The only reason we even get into this
last of my
argument here
4 siblings to talk to him, and he gave no indication
is
from
because we have
3,000
a
miles
dishonest
away
media that
from
does
where I
not
lived at the
cover
time
all of
that
the
he
time
was
someone uses a
considering
gun
suicide.
for self-defense or defense of
35
others.
years later,
They
we have
only
not
cover the
done
negative
enough
end
to
of
address
guns.
this epidemic of suicide. And for far too many people, they continue
And
to
it is
lose
the
loved
reason
ones
that
the
these
same way I did.
gun idiots add in
Most
suicides
troubling,
and
gun
all this
deaths
other
amongst
stuff
children
to
and teens
firearms,
rose
so-called
50% in just 2
firearms
years
violence.
between 2019 and 2021. And
And expect this
firearm
argument to get
suicides
worse,
amongst those ages
not
10 to
better.
24 is at its highest rate in more than 20 years. 10 to
I'll
24
throw a
year olds
channel
in the
out there in a
United
minute if you
States
want
are
the
experiencing an
sunshiny
epidemic
view.
of
I'll throw
gun
Langley
suicides.
Outdoors out there because dude
These
has a hell of a lot
statistics
more
are
faith than I do.
sobering,
I watch
and we
his
need to
channel.
take
I love his
action
channel.
now.
He has
Fortunately,
a hell of a
research
lot
has
more
shown
faith than I do.
that there are solutions that we can do to help stop this. Gun suicide rates in states with the strongest gun safety laws, like California, have actually decreased over the past 2 decades. Meanwhile, in states with the weakest gun safety laws, gun suicide rates have increased by almost 40%. They've gone down in states with
No, they haven't.
constitutionally legal, evidence-based research gun violence protection laws, but they've gone up by 40% in those states with the weakest.
Explain Japan.
If
and their
all U.S.
suicide
states
rate.
had experienced the same trend in their gun suicide rate as the 8 states with the strongest gun safety laws, approximately 72,000 fewer people would have died
Auntie, what's up,
from
my
gun
brother?
suicides. The gun lobby
Yeah, Langley's
often
second press, man. I
counters
love those
this
guys.
evidence in the debate
But
to
he has a
say,
hell of a lot more
oh, well, these
faith
people would just have tried
in where
something
things
else.
are going to go than I do.
Not surprisingly, they're lying. They're lying about people taking their own lives with their
Plus,
products.
he doesn't drink and smoke and talk as much shit as
Research
I
has
do. So
repeatedly shown
there's that.
that states have experienced a decline in gun suicides,
Although I
have
would
not
drink a
seen a
beer with a dude and
corresponding
shoot
increase
shit.
in suicides using other methods. The other methods most commonly used for suicide are actually vastly slower, research tells us, than by the availability of guns and the use of guns. Colleagues, to honor those who
Yeah,
lost their
envy
lives
these
by
nuts.
taking their
Damn
lives,
sure.
and to protect the most vulnerable, we need to follow the evidence and enact national, common self, proven reforms, because where you
And
live
don't
should
get me
not
wrong, I'm
determine the
not doom and
probability
gloom about this
of
stuff,
losing a
but
loved one to gun suicide. Thank you, and I yield back.
I am honest about where this
Thank
is
you,
going.
Rep. DeSaulnier, for your wonderful words and your courage in telling your personal story and using it to help others. We have talked about mass shootings today, and I think it's also important.
Oh,
that
you
we
dirty
put some
one
focus
car.
on everyday gun
One car.
violence. We've talked
Keystone.
about guns.
Keystone.
Also talk about crime.
Not Bud
Talk
Light.
about the root
I
causes
haven't been able to
of
stand Bud
crime as
years.
well. And make
Too
sure that
sweet.
we are doing everything we can.
And
From
that kind of
public
fits,
safety
doesn't it?
to guns to things like
Dirty.
jobs, affordable
Dirty.
housing,
Dirty.
healthcare, hunger, education.
All the while, let me pour my Bud Light
We
into
also
this
do need to
Keystone
talk
can.
about
No,
mental
just kidding.
health and make sure that people in this country have the mental health support they need and they deserve. There is no argument. The number one cause of gun deaths in this country is death by suicide. But when you talk about,
Hold on, because I gotta get in on this a little bit. If the number one cause of death is suicide, which it's not, it's things like diabetes. But if the number one cause of death was suicide, why are we not talking about what is causing, the human condition that causes someone to think that suicide is the way to fix things? And again, why do Democrats want medically assisted suicide bills? Now, I'll throw this out here for the crowd. I really do think if you are in a position, stage 4 cancer, whatever, eaten up, you're never going to recover, you're nothing but pain, you should be able to choose the way you go out. I honestly believe that. There are some notable people that I think went out that way, where they chose the way they wanted to go out. I've got no problems with that. In general, I think suicide is probably one of the most selfish things you can do, because the vast majority of suicides, people are in a position where they can't see past what's in front of them, and they can't see all the people around them and everything that will affect. But they're so far down, they don't see another way other than that particular door. And I think we need to focus on things that can help people see something other than that one way. And some people choose a firearm for suicide. Some people choose drugs for suicide. Some people just choose living a crazy life for suicide. Some will kill you really fast. Some might take a little while. There's many things, many ways to do it. But why not focus on the actual mental health of the situation and seriously look at what leaves people in such a state of despair where they think that is a way out? I'm somebody who's thought about it in the past in my life. I'm glad I didn't. I wouldn't have my kids. I wouldn't have my wife. But I've been there, down in that hole. Let's try to focus on getting people out of that hole, because if you took all the guns out of the United States, our suicide rate wouldn't change at all. The methods, however, would probably look more like Japan, where Japan, even with a smaller population, has a higher suicide rate than the United States. Let's focus on issues and not just a symptom. But all they want is a symptom, because ultimately this is a game about control. It's not about saving lives. It is simply about control. And I guarantee you, when all the guns are gone in the United States, only the criminals will have the guns. Then the people in the middle, us, the people that try to be law-abiding, will be getting killed two ways: by the government or by the criminals. That's it. You won't have to worry about a suicide rate then, motherfucker. We won't live long enough. The guns themselves aren't the issue. They've never been the issue. let's go back to what I said earlier, 80 years worth of leftists taking over the educational system, way more dangerous than firearms. Brutal Bob, what's up, my brother? Zany.
Suicide and death by a firearm. There are ways to help prevent it. I met this week with the U of L trauma team.
Yeah, saying it really would be.
Who did an amazing job on April 10th, 2023, keeping people alive and navigating an incredibly difficult situation. And because suicide is the #1 cause of gun death in this country, I talked with them about it. I spoke with Dr. Jason Smith, who's a trauma surgeon at the University of Louisville. And he shared that a person is most at risk of taking their own life when they reach their lowest point. And that lowest point typically only lasts for about 10 minutes. If you can get someone through that lowest point, they have an amazingly increased chance of living a full life.
Now, I'll argue about his time a little bit there. But even if I have my guns stored like they want them stored, basically disassembled with the ammo in another place, but I know the combinations to get into everything, or I have the keys to get into everything. Even if I had to walk from my office back to my bedroom and back to another room to assemble my gun and load it, it would take less than 10 minutes. Less than 10 minutes. That's tripping over kids' toys, stubbing my toe on the counter in the middle of the night. Less than 10 minutes. What does the safe storage law do for someone who is suicidal, has the combination to their safe, can get to their gun in, 4 minutes versus 30 seconds or so? It does nothing. Expect more safe storage stuff to come up here in the next little bit federally, because it's coming. You will never hear these assholes talk about people like Walk the Talk America, trying to get things done to where if I was feeling suicidal, it would make it legal for me to call a friend up and tell a friend, no matter what state, call a friend up and say, hey, I need you to pick up all my stuff. And call a number and get counseling right then and there to get me over that bump where I wanted to commit suicide. Oh, yeah, the Legos, yeah. Dude, I don't even let those in my house. Those are landmines, man. No, I step on Matchbox cars and Barbies. Hold on. Why you say it? Yeah, because, well, hold on. I got to do a couple things because there's a couple of you guys that got to be mods. If I can find the right freaking tab. Brutal Bob, add his mod. Zane, or one car should have been one already. I told you guys, if you hang out long enough, you are going to be a freaking mod. Zany, you're getting into. And then try to find Brooks' channel real fast. I know if DJ was in here, DJ would have it off the rip. I think I got everybody with that run. If not, I'll find everybody. Which I got a tab open. Hold on. If I could spell, it would work better. I got it right here. So, and Brooke runs a Saturday night chat every Saturday night. Normally 8 o'clock or so, maybe 9. Follow her though. She's a shooting instructor. She's testified in front of Congress. She's testified in front of her state house, you name it. And she runs the Suicide Prevention Saturday night chats. And her stuff is great, man. It's a way to get in there and get in with some people that a lot of us that are in there have been in that position. Yes, we're a whole lot of smart asses. Well, no one's really as bad as me. I'll admit that. I try to behave when I'm with Brooke. But she does a whole lot of, and I hate saying self-help kind of deal, but she offers you some resources. So if you were ever in that hole, and DJ Play Nice, he'll post his stuff. He'll typically post hotlines and stuff. And it sounds corny until you're in that hole. And then it doesn't sound so goddamn corny anymore. And that's, one of the reasons that, hell, I love Brooke. That's one of the reasons I love DJ. Because it's a constant. These guys are always rolling this around. It's one of the reasons I follow Walk the Talk America. And hell, while we're at it, since this channel went, or this chat went this way, let me find Walk the Talk. And it is insane that Walk the Talk doesn't pop up as soon as I type in walk the. It really is. Ghost is real good about posting stuff. Walk the Talk, typically a lot of Fridays, kind of early afternoon, 11ish or so Eastern. They'll do a panel together, and it's absolutely great to listen to. Yeah, dude, Sam, if a person's bound and determined to go ahead and hit the I'm checking out button, it doesn't matter what they use. They are going to do it. Now, you can break down statistics on age, and you can break down statistics in between male and female. And typically, men tend to be more committed to the act than women do. That's why more women will try to commit suicide by ways that kind of leave a way out. Yeah, you can break those numbers down. And those numbers have been broken down many times. But the fact is, if a person wants to commit suicide, it doesn't matter what they have at their disposal, they are going to do it. This bottle. Break it, slit it. It would be that easy. So let's quit focusing on the mechanism and let's focus on the reasons why. Because that's what's going to actually start to affect the issue, which is mental health. I didn't think this chat's going to go that way, but hell, I never have a real true direction on where things are going to go. We keep it as fluid as I can keep it. Yeah, until Ting's right. Until gravity's banned, there are buildings. Until trains are banned, there are trains. Drive your car off a bridge, you name it. The actual methods for committing suicide are endless. Just the way it is. So let's focus on the mental health aspect of it. Why would it be that way? Why does a person get to that point? To share something personal, and there's no way in hell I'll tell the whole story. A buddy of mine called me. It's been a year or so ago. Coop, I got stuff going on. I need you to go pick up all of my guns. All of them. Period. Everything. Now, granted, he still had knives and all this other shit. But I need you to come pick them up. It's all right, dude. I'm there. No problem. Got over to my buddy's place. He pretty much had everything packed. I threw everything in the truck. And then we sat out there and talked for a long time that night. He was drunk and he was upset. I had some stuff going on. And there were some very deep issues behind stuff. But if Democrats had their way, me coming up and removing that from him to hold them would have costed me quite a few felonies. I crossed state lines with those guns. I crossed state lines to go get those guns. In between Georgia and Alabama, but hey, I cross state lines. If you believe Democrats can't cross state lines with guns, although I do it probably a few times a week. But before I left, I made sure, after talking to my buddy, I made sure he was getting some extra help that night and stuff. And, a few weeks later, buddy called me. We talked for a little while. I brought all the stuff back to him. And he's still kicking to this day. We were fishing weekend before last. Last week I didn't get to do any fishing. But we were fishing weekend before last. There's some people don't realize how easy it is to get into a hole like that. Especially when you've got stuff going on like he's had for over a fucking decade. Not to mention other things. And and he's a hell of a dude. He's a great dude. But it was just one of those situations. So why should it be illegal for me to go pick up his stuff, go store it at my place, and then when he's ready for everything, give it back to him? Why should that be illegal? Oh, because some criminal would do something. I don't give a fuck about them. They're going to do it anyway. Oh, you should have called whoever. No, we got him in touch with psychological help that night. The government, on the other hand, shouldn't be involved. DLD, what's up, my sucker? But yeah, it's in certain states, if I had done that, that would have put me in jeopardy of going to prison for picking up my buddy's guns, making sure he got some help that night, and then definitely after he got help and everything was cool, returning his stuff back to him. I went through God knows how many FFL transfers that night at like 12 o'clock at night, whenever the fuck it was. These gun laws that these assholes want may save a life here or there. But when you look at firearms, there are two sides to this scale. Those who take lives with guns illegally and those who save lives with guns legally. And they never look at the save lives with guns legally side of that scale. It's always weighted towards the ones who do things illegally. And it makes no sense. If I'm doing a simple fucking math problem, I need both sides of the equation. But they won't give you that. Oh, Dark's just a Fed, man. He already knows what 911 is. I love you, Dark. I'm just fucking with you. You know that. I still got to get with you about what I wanted to do with the for a different frame. I messaged Dark not too long back just for something else different than this. Because all of my Glock style guns that I have are all polymer 80s. Now, so I've got 18 slides. I've got 19 slides. I don't have 18 slides. Ooh, wish I did. I've got 19 slides, 17 slides, 43 slides, all that. But I want to, what I really want is some other holster options. So I just wanted to buy a frame to stick a 17 slide on. And Dark's my go-to when it comes to anything Glock. So I still got to get with him about that. What would be the best frame to get so I can take my 17 slide off of P80, slap it on another slide, and have some other holster options, Safari Land, whatever. So I still got to get with Dark over that. Oh yeah, dude, I got spooky gats all over the place. The next gat I want to build is a set me. I want to do a 80% set me build. So I'm doing some research on that now. Getting with Night Strike on some stuff because he's a set me dude. So yeah, that'll probably be the second build you guys will see me do. I need a 19 slide. I've got everything 19 barrel, all that shit. 19 frames sitting in there, rails already in it. I got to finish out. I need a 19 slide. I think I might have even the sights for the damn thing right now. But I need a 19 slide so I can build that out, finish out that build. And then I want to do a set me build all the way, 80%, bend it, weld it, whole 9 yards. And that just depends out on how some money works out in the next little bit. But anyway. And Dark, if you want to jump in just to freaking for filler or whatever, man, I will send you a link. Although I know you're going live later tonight.
Protect this. In my state of Kentucky, we watch it across the river in Indiana, where they have a state red flag law. We can make this a national priority.
Red flags will not stop shit.
To help people get what they need.
Ooh, J-frame 357
in crisis. And temporarily remove
with
them
the right
from
amount of
firearm
lube
while retaining
and
their
lots
rights.
of practice.
Rep. DeSaulnier referenced that suicide is growing among young people, and unfortunately, it is. But that is not the only group affected. In fact, a statistic that worries me, because Louisville is located just north of Fort Knox. We have about 50,000 veterans that live in our community. The single most at-risk group for death by suicide with a firearm are white men over the age of 50 who own a firearm and are a veteran. I'm on the Veterans Committee, where even today, in a committee hearing with the secretary, death by suicide was brought up for veterans. The people who were brave enough to put on a uniform and sacrifice everything for us. We should be brave enough to pass policies in this body that will help them. Mr. Speaker, I yield to my distinguished colleague from Colorado, Representative Joe Neguse.
Damn, Dark said the Magnum,
Mr. Speaker.
too.
First, let me thank the distinguished
Yeah,
gentleman,
357
my good
SIG's a
friend,
little small.
from the Commonwealth of Kentucky, whose
Just
leadership
kidding, kids.
with respect to addressing the scourge of gun violence that has unfortunately taken hold in so many parts of our country has been unparalleled since he first stepped into this august chamber last year. We're grateful for his service. We're grateful for his leadership. And we're grateful for him initiating this important conversation tonight.
Yeah, Dark. Hopefully, I'll catch
I
the
must say
uncensored tonight. That's my plan anyway.
There are many constituents of mine
But one of the reasons I went
who are
early tonight
frustrated,
is because
who are outraged, who are anguished
I haven't slept real well
the
the last
inaction
couple days. So
of this
we'll
body
see.
to address an issue as fundamental as this one. What could be more important, Mr. Speaker, than the safety of our families, of our friends, of our neighbors, of our colleagues, of our children, of our fellow citizens. This Congress has a job to do, and that job must include addressing gun violence and enacting common sense reforms that we know will save lives. I have the distinct privilege, Mr. Speaker, of
His
representing
defense,
the
this
great state
dude's
of
not near
Colorado,
as painful to listen to
and
as
we have been no
freaking
stranger
Hakeem
to the
Jeffries.
anguish of gun violence. Next week will mark the 25th anniversary of the tragic and devastating
Yeah,
massacre
DLD.
at Columbine High School. 13 Coloradans murdered, cold blood. 12 students and 1 teacher. 25 years ago next week.
Now, remember this. Let me crank my cam back up. I'm trying to help my stream out a little bit. Yeah, One Love, I have been trying stuff like that. One thing about magnesium powder, with a little bit too much of it, you will shit through a screen door and never hit a wire. But talking about Columbine, their original plan is just to set bombs throughout the school, bomb everybody, and then commit their great act. They went to guns because guns were the second best option they had. It wasn't their first option. And I didn't realize that till a little while back. It may have been 3-4 weeks ago. I was in a meeting for work, and we had some guys come in and talk about stuff. And he mentioned the number of bombs that these two planted at Columbine. And it was an insane number. I have to go look at it. It's like a couple hundred bombs that they planted. Propane tanks, small, big, large, whatever. That was their original plan. Which kind of makes me think about Nice, France in some ways. In Nice, France, the guys had a truck full of guns and grenades, and the dude killed 84 or 87 people in less than like 30 seconds with the truck itself, even though they had all the guns. The truck was the better option to murder that many people that quickly. These assholes merely drilling down on the guns. Oh, it's the guns. My wife just walked in and handed me hers. It is not the guns. It has never been the guns. Some idiot posted something on X the other day. Well, you can't have this and that. Or about ARs, whatever. It was like, no, during the time of the founding, people had mortars with explosive shells. They had hand grenades. They had cannons with explosive shells. They had swivel cannons with explosive shells. They had everything in the world that would have knocked out a complete fucking town. But you didn't see stuff like this. So the tool isn't the issue. The tools doing it and their motivation is the issue. Something the other day, you're wearing a gun in a bank. I've gone into the bank plenty of times with my gun on me. If I'm walking out with money, walking in with money, my gun's on me. My gun has never tapped me on the fucking shoulder and said, hey, let's rob this bitch. It's never happened, not once. It is not the gun itself. You bunch of jackasses. Yeah, energetics are the way. Yes, they are.
Three years ago, my community was devastated by yet another mass shooting at our local grocery store. 10 community members, Mr. Speaker, gunned down, including one police officer who bravely died in the line of duty, saving lives, making the ultimate sacrifice. Mr. Speaker, we have lost far too many.
Can't destroy stuff
There are
properly.
far too many. Mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, children, Americans dying from gun violence. We have the power to stop it if we follow the articulate admonition of my friend and colleague, Mr. McGarvey, by passing common sense solutions here in this chamber.
Hold on, while we're
And for
listening to this,
those
let
who
me look
doubt
something up.
our ability to do so, Mr. Speaker, I will point you to fairly recent history. There were many who doubted the ability of the United States Congress and the President to enact laws, common sense laws that ultimately would and could save lives. They were wrong. Because of President Biden's leadership, we passed a bill in the last Congress, the 118th,
I'll show you
117th.
exactly what the government's trying to stop.
That
In a
law
couple articles,
is saving
actually.
lives today. Earlier today, the White House, thanks to the leadership of President Biden, Vice President Harris, the leadership of our Attorney General Garland, announced yet another reform, a new rule pursuant to the bipartisan Safer Communities Act that will finally close the gun show loophole.
Remember, this was the day that the ATF approved their final rule. Let me pull up one article. You want to know what the government's trying to stop ultimately with this shit? So this was in Tennessee right after World War II. There was a town where the Democrat, go figure, government in the town was basically rigging elections. The government in McMinn, don't expect me to say that right now, was run by an entrenched political machine that had controlled much of Tennessee politics since the early 1930s. In county, the machine was run by Paul Cantrell, elected sheriff for 10 years. So what happened is the government was stuffing ballot boxes and just rolling in their own policies. Decades of it. Started in the 30s, ran all the way through late 40s before this kicked off. And they were a group of armed vets who got really, really tired of this. And they actually went in and did something about it. Go figure, armed citizens standing up against a tyrannical government. Now, this was on a small scale, county-wide. And there were plenty of instances where a county or a group of people tried to stand up against the government and got completely toasted. But this was one instance where it actually worked. This is what our government is going after when they talk about assault weapons bans. It's the reason they pump the numbers up, completely play with the numbers, and will not be honest with you about the numbers of actual firearms murders, not justifiable homicides, but murders, where someone goes out and they commit a violent act and without just cause take someone else's life with a firearm. That is a firearms murder. No just cause. I use a firearm. I take someone's life. That is a murder with a firearm. That's the reason they will not be honest with you about that. And that's the reason they add in suicides and all this other bullshit to pump the numbers up. Because in a country, when you factor in people who aren't supposed to be here, which I do believe should be able to own firearms, probably getting close to, 380 million people, somewhere around there, the actual firearms murder rate in the United States, or murders in the United States per year, hang out anywhere between 5,000 and 7 and some change, depending on the year. That's what I've seen they run. So 370 million people, 5,000 to let's say 750. 750 or 7,500, not even 750, 7,500, 5,000 to 700 or 7,500. Put it in that range. That's the reason they use all these other things to pump the numbers up. Because they are goddamn scared of the American people being informed enough to say, oh, hell no, and get together on the same page and do this on a large scale. Yeah, they can't be honest about the numbers. It's one reason I went through CDC numbers. It's been quite a few streams ago. And we just went through innocent deaths by firearm. So we take out gang related, we take out confrontation related, and just throw in innocence for 0 to 18-year-olds. And you find out there's about 100 and something of those a year. And even in that number, a lot of those are gang related because they're people shooting in neighborhoods and a bullet goes to the house and ends up killing a kid. The number is statistically irrelevant when you break the numbers down. That's why I love the Gun Prevention Research Center, John Lott, because he breaks these numbers down. When you listen to these idiots in Congress and state congresses and houses and all the stuff talk about it, you would think, damn, you can't go to the store without stepping over bodies of innocent people being killed. And that's not the way it fucking works. And they never, ever look at the side of the equation where a person uses a firearm in defense of themselves or another and actually saves lives. They never bring that equation up. One dickhead on X, hell, today or yesterday, well, what are you afraid of with your AR-15s? And I posted a story about a pregnant woman whose home was invaded by people, and her husband was knocked down. She went and got his AR-15, maybe hers, and she ended up shooting the intruders and basically defending herself and her husband while pregnant with an AR-15. That kind of shit happens. I can go look at stories right now where a 16-year-old at home defended himself against home intruders in the afternoon and the evening before his parents got home because he had access to his dad's AR-15. They're only showing you one side of the scale. If there's 9,000 pounds of material, I put 20 pounds on the scale and I don't put the other 8,800 pounds on the scale. Well, it's going to look like that 20 pounds weighs a lot. And this is a game they play with information. Again, the reason I do streams like this, and the reason why it gets so under my goddamn skin. And again, this is the only way I have to fight back against these assholes. Mike, what's going on, my brother? And plus, I get to share all my pain with you guys. So, it's like group therapy. I mean, that's what I need to name my channel, group therapy.
An important step forward, Mr. Speaker, and one that I applaud. And I think
Bacon's name was the best.
That
share
it can
the pain.
Be a building block for us to take on. Now, I have to confess, I looked at the notice from the Rules Committee.
I would bet money that a lot of the people that we all
just a few short hours ago,
whether it's with Dark, Crump,
what did that notice portend for next week? What
Legally Armed
House
America,
Republicans decided we will spend our time on next week? Not gun violence
all these
prevention.
cool people that we follow. I would guarantee you
the refrigerator
at least 85% of us in these chats have dealt with serious depression
that is
at one time or another.
On the agenda next week.
I would bet
refrigerator
money on that
freedom
if
act.
it's not higher.
How about a bill to address gun
Coop
violence?
therapy.
Is that too much to ask? My constituents don't think so. And I don't think people
That
can talk
might
to
fit
people
too.
I
That
thank
might
the
be
gentleman
the
from
name
Kentucky
of some
again for his
streams.
leadership, for initiating this important conversation. It is the beginning and not the end. I yield back to the gentleman.
Thank you, Representative Neguse, for your wonderful words. And you brought up, I
Well,
can't
Mike,
believe it's
hopefully
been
you get through
25
that
years since
cluster
Columbine. Another
as
rifle
painlessly as
exactly where I
possible, my
was when I
brother.
found out that news.
I'm still dealing
And
with
you
a
went to your
bunch of them
TV
at work.
screens to watch in horror as students fled from the building, as parents wondered if their kids were alive.
No,
And we
well,
grieve with
let me
Colorado,
mention this one, Dark,
not just for Columbine, for Boulder,
just because
for Aurora, for the tragedy you all have endured.
I'm that individual. So when they mention, and oh, this is where we get into the amount of rounds fired in defensive shootings. If listening to oral arguments and cases that we've listened to in the past little while, well, these leftists will tell you that there's only 1 to 2, 3 shots fired in a defensive shooting. And we wonder how can that number be? Because if I'm firing at least 2 shots right away. I watch police and they're trained and they mag dump. How can that be? Well, because what they fucking do is it's the only time they acknowledge all the other defensive gun uses. They take all the defensive gun uses where a shot's not fired, where someone draws their gun, presents, and the threat stops. They take those and they factor them in with shootings where someone actually pulled the trigger. So, yes, there could be a shooting out there where someone fires 30-something shots in self-defense. Completely justified. There could be a bunch of those. But when you factor in the other 500,000 where someone drew a gun and did not have to pull the trigger, well, averages drives that number completely through the floor, and that's how you end up with 1 to 2 shots. But again, we have a large part of this society, a large part of American society, that are straight out non-playable characters. They get their update from the news and then they go puke this shit up on everybody else. And these people up here, House, Congress, well, they get to make laws. And they don't give a shit who goes to prison for simply defending themselves or having something that the government says they shouldn't have, even though they are nonviolent people. And they'll let a murderer, rapist, molester walk the street. They don't care. Back to the whole leftists having the education system for the last 80 years, and ta-da! Here's where we're at. Yes, DLD, 100%. Which a lot of these shootings are going to happen at close range. But they never factor in the number of shootings versus the number of rounds. They just average everything in. They won't tell you that, hey, 30% of these shootings, that dude wasted 9 rounds taking out their assailant. They will tell you that, oh, well, fucking 8% of these shootings, they never even fired a shot. It's, oh, God, it just, for anybody with a logical brain who can do a little bit of research, these arguments from the anti-gun left make no goddamn sense whatsoever. The numbers don't compute. I've said it before. It's like taking a bad bent-up dollar and trying to roll it in a Coke machine, and it keeps kicking it back out to you. That's their so-called facts. Because when you break those facts down, you figure out they're completely full of shit. And I'll say something a lot of people won't say. Most of these people know that their facts aren't right. They know they're lying through their fucking teeth. but this is all about power and control. Are there some people on the leftist side, or some people that call themselves right, that hey, back the blue and we don't need this? Are there some people out there who have actual good intentions, that are living in fairy dust land where you wave a magic wand and all the violent people suddenly just quit being violent? Sure, there are. There are a handful of those. Not many. The vast majority of these people are about their position, about their control, and advancing themselves. Has jack shit to do with keeping people safe. If it was about keeping people safe, this last ruling from the ATF, they could have set up a blind system where I want to sell a gun to somebody, and I go, hey, give me your driver's license. And I put their driver's license in the system, and I either come back with a pass or fail. I can't tell you why, but it's a pass or fail. I can't sell you that. I ran your number. It says I can't sell it to you. You need to contact them. And when you contact them, if you fix it, I'll sell it to you. That should be as easy as that system works. At the very least, people could, or how about a system where if a gun's stolen or reported lost, where I could put the serial number of the gun in and come up with that gun. So if I go to buy a gun, be like, hey, let me look at your serial number. Put in the serial number. Oh, well, wait a second, dude. That gun is reported stolen. I don't want no part of it. Those things could be done in this information age we live in. But this has jack shit to do with stopping criminals. Because by their rule, if I bought a firearm today and I went and sold it tomorrow, I put it through an FFL background check. Okay, person came up clean. If I did that the next day, and I did that the next day, I would still be a dealer, and my home could get raided, and I could get shot in the face. It has nothing to do with stopping criminals. And it should make every American in this country with the 2 brain cells that could bump into each other that at least loves freedom. It should make every one of them sick. But that's not the world we live in. I'm sorry. My daughter was in the bathroom and I just heard her screaming freedom. But yeah, it's not the world we live in. Oh, you are in the selling firearms for profit. Predominantly in the business. All this other horse shit they can use. Yeah, and dark. Hold on, let me post that one for dark because that one's freaking right there. Yep. I submit to you the entire case. And it's stuff that it's the reason the ATF has never set a hard line on how many guns you had to sell per year to be a dealer versus being in the hobby. It's the reason they haven't drawn that hard distinction. Gray areas in the law should disturb every damn one of us because they just get to move the lines wherever they want. And then guess what? You get to spend thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars fighting it in court. You get to lose your livelihood. You get to get shot in the face in your home 6 o'clock in the morning just because, hey, the government said so. And there are enough uninformed people in this country, well, they will back that shit where he was selling guns. Yeah. But the guns that he was selling, we went through the entire fucking warrant on this channel. The guns he was selling, I think a few of them showed up with people who had weed possession charges. One guy was a felon. Okay, I got no problems. He wasn't committing a felony with the gun. And then another one showed up in California that had been reported stolen from the person he sold it to that showed up with basically some cartel members. Okay. That happens to gun stores every day in the United States. Where they sell a gun, it is then stolen and shows up in a crime later. Okay. How about we punish the people stealing the guns? How about we do that? No. Let's just go. Maybe it's a good thing I don't plan my chats, because this is the way we get to have a little bit of fun and just vent a bunch of frustration.
Hearing Representative Magoo's talk about the tragedies in his community reminded me that when the mass shooting happened in Louisville on April 10th last,
Why can I not?
they were not only offering their
Okay, find a way.
condolences and their sympathies and asking what they could do to help. Many of them had
Yeah,
experienced
just a piece of tin with a
same
drawing on it.
tragedy in their
And the ATF's
communities
own technology
offered
branch couldn't get
advice
it to work.
on how to deal with it. and
Matter of
how
fact,
to
they
help
could have done the same
your
thing as they
community
just took
get
the
through it while
disconnector
you
out of the
yourself grieve.
gun.
So
Which
in essence,
anybody with a brain,
there's a
half a brain,
playbook
3/4 of a,
on what to do after
fuck, I don't know,
a mass shooting.
4 brain cells could do.
I'd like this
Matter of
body
fact,
to
I'm willing to
act
bet there are a bunch of
and
people
have
that
a
done it on
playbook
accident because they weren't
on
smart
how
enough
to
to realize
stop
that
the
the
shootings from
disconnector needed
happening
to
in
be
the
there.
first place. Because we know how to do it.
Yeah.
We know the damage that assault weapons cause. We know the need for safe
Oh,
storage and
picture and
universal
stuff.
background checks. And I'm tired of hearing there's nothing we can do when we're doing nothing.
Yeah, that's why you're not as big a smartass as
We
me.
can solve this uniquely
You
American
got all the picture
problem,
hanging stuff.
and we can
What are
solve
you doing?
it
I'm going to
together.
hang some up.
keeping our kids and our communities safer. It just takes the political will from this body to do it. Mr. Speaker, I yield back the balance of my time.
Under the Speaker's announced policy of January 9th, 2023, the chair recognizes the gentlewoman from Illinois, Ms. Miller, for 30 minutes.
ATF gun expert. Yeah. The dude who couldn't take a Glock apart. And you know where they
I ask
rehearsed
unanimous
that.
consent that all members may have 5 legislative days in which to revise and extend their remarks and include extraneous
Especially
material
ATF
on the
agents.
topic of this special order.
Without objection.
We're supposed to be
Thank
the
you,
gun
Mr.
expert.
Speaker. Tonight, I am incredibly privileged to join the Patriots and Concerned Women for America
Yeah, we're through that.
for the 3rd year in a row by recognizing April.
Yeah, we're through that. We're going to watch a little bit of stuff out of Colorado. I think I got the video set. And again, for those of you who, hold on, I'll screen share it again. If I got it up, do I still have it up? I know you guys are making jokes about that already. I was working on doing a couple things Sunday, and I didn't realize that Colorado was in a House session Sunday. And I have no idea what their record is for being in session on Sundays, so I can't comment exactly.
Oh no, what a nightmare.
I can't comment exactly on whether that's completely strange for them. Let's walk the talk America. But it is, to me, strange for a state legislature to be in session on a Sunday, and they pass their assault weapons ban through the House on Sunday. One of the things I was working on Sunday was this. Sandblast, Cerakote, camo job. So and then kiddos and breakfasts and lunches and everything else Sunday. So I was a little busy. But that's what I was doing. And by the way, Dark, that's that one. I can't remember the name of those guys. the red dot on there that wanted you to be a rep for, or wanted you to rep for them. You mentioned it on stream one night. I ordered it. I'm going to test it on this gun. I have to go find their name, but that's part of what I was working on. So I didn't cover the stuff in Colorado Sunday as it was going on. And I was listening to it. I didn't stream it. I was working, doing other stuff. And so that's part of what I was doing. I want to show that I've got video shot of that. I just have to put a video together about it. So we're going to listen to some stuff out of Colorado. And again, this was Sunday as they were passing their assault weapons ban through the House. Now, still got to go to the Senate. It has to get passed by the Senate. It has to go to the Senate in Colorado. And then it's got to go. No, it wasn't the cycle. It was oh, son of a bitch! You're gonna make me find that damn thing. I got a rubber hammer. Oh god, you're gonna make me find that damn thing, or at least the things to you. While we're waiting for them to start, I'm trying to hear a bunch of wrestling in the background. Oh, there's just Dark. If it helps you out, it came in like this little pelican case, and you drew stuff on it. The little skulls and stuff on the case. It doesn't even have their name on it. Fiachi. That's what it is. Fiachi. This will start in a second, but I was trying to find that. Fiachi. Yeah, Fiachi. I think that's how you pronounce it. Maybe. Trying to find my ass. Yeah, it's Fiachi. Yeah, it's not Fiocchi, it's Fiachi. Let me speed this up.
Interpret those or rephrase
There it is.
those, but to speak to the policy
This is
in
the
front
speaker.
of us. Even as we respond to one another, let's do so as we look at this policy, avoiding
Yeah, for like
characterizations
69 bucks.
of one another or of groups or of organizations.
Look at her. She's just
It is important as we engage in this debate that we model for each other, our state, the value of
Show off the
respect
wife's
and
baby.
civility in public
She's a
discourse. I
Cayenne
thank you all.
cayenne fire.
Cayenne Fire.
Mr. Schiebel, please
Oh,
read the
you're
title
old.
to House
Corn?
Bill
She's just
1292.
over a year old.
Corn or
House
rat?
Bill 1292 by Representatives Hernandez and
Cayenne
also Senator
Fire.
Gonzalez
Corn snake.
concerning prohibitions on certain
About a
firearms
year
used in
old.
public mass shootings.
She started off, she was
Madam Majority
tiny,
Leader.
Madam
tiny.
Speaker,
She
I
is
move House Bill
massive compared to where
1292
she
on third
started.
reading and final passage.
Yeah, what if
Representative
she could wrap around
Armagost.
one finger?
Yeah, she is beautiful. Let me show you
Thank you, Madam
off.
Speaker.
Remember where the camera's at on this one.
Well,
here we are.
It's a new camera.
This has gotten
So
a
yeah,
lot
she
further
is.
than I or anyone I
It's
think
there. Yeah, I know.
had expected it to go.
She is.
We're debating a bill that,
And just as mild mannered as she
in
can
the
be.
title and in the language of the title, prohibits certain weapons used in mass shootings.
Well, it seems like
Otherwise,
corn
been
snakes are
referred to as
way more mild
assault
mannered than
weapons
rat
ban,
snakes.
or assault weapons ban 2.0, however you want to look at it. This is
I had a couple of rat
an
snakes that were
extension of what we
absolute
saw last
assholes.
session.
And the
Last
wild
session,
corn snake she
This
caught,
bill was
that
killed in
joke would
committee
practically
after
ask
a strike
permission
below
to bite you.
essentially was killed, went back to the bill, and the bill was killed.
should
This
go real
goes
slow.
way further.
Yeah,
Not
she'd nip.
it doesn't close in anymore on the actual
Freaking gunny.
topics or the actual purpose that is identified by the sponsors in preventing gun violence or preventing mass murders, mass shootings,
My mom's
things
dog
like
video.
that.
I think
will
I
get
got
to
some
some
video. I
points
gotta play the
that
video of
are
the Pinecone game with me and her
on
mom
statistics
shepherd.
done by the FBI. I will get on some points
It's real simple. You just
that are
share the
essentially
code. It's
negating the
It's really
fact
good.
that
Hell.
there's
He's a
any
sore
level of
loser.
prevention produce. I think the biggest thing
It's a
that
good thing
this
he's
bill
nice, 'cause
produces is
he's-
an
what do you think?
overwhelming
He snouts like
Yeah, gunny's
burden, an
120 pounds?
overwhelming
120
restriction
pounds
on
worth of
law-abiding
shepherd.
gun owners.
a
And it's not
beautiful
just
dog.
the owners. I
Great
understand this isn't
dog.
about what you already own, but this is
Yeah,
about
he
what
wants to avoid
gun
the
owners are able to purchase.
Like,
This is
and I don't mean
simply
just like
saying, me
yeah,
as
I
a
mean,
gun
like,
owner, or
straddle.
me as
Yeah,
somebody who
but
needs a gun,
The Pinecone game is
whether it be a
completely-
victim, a stalking victim,
completely
domestic
different animal.
violence,
He's so cute.
rape, anything,
He's so
somebody
pretty.
is traumatized
He's so big.
or
Fucking
is
fun.
threatened
It's
of any
not
of
a
those
nope.
things is unable to go and get a
It's
firearm
not a
to protect
nope.
It's not a
themselves.
nope. She's real
Why? Because this covers
That is a
80%
seriously nice note.
of modern firearms. This is not something that
I see
can
what you're
easily
saying.
say that, oh, these weapons here specifically are the only ones that are a risk that
I mean,
law-abiding
yeah.
gun owners or hunters or sportsmen
Yeah, that can happen.
aren't
Trust me.
able to get. It collapses that market for
She'll
anyone
go.
that
She'll
does
go
any
get
of
one of
these
the other
things.
babies.
Me as a hunter, it's disheartening for me. My dad, who I grew up hunting with,
Here's the video.
he's
Oh, fuck.
well into stage 4 prostate cancer. He has been surviving that for 16 years now when the life expectancy of that is 5 years. He's been a trooper. The one thing he's had to give up construction,
Why?
which was his lifelong career.
Yeah,
because
'cause-
of the weakness, because of his bruising and everything else that happens.
Hold on. Let me
The other part of that is
bring this
hunting.
tab over so I can
That is
pause
the
these.
one.
So the Colorado so-called assault weapons ban is another single feature weapons ban. So if I had a turkey shotgun, got one sitting in there, and it's got a threaded choke and a pistol grip, that's an assault weapon. If you have a detachable magazine and you have a threaded barrel, that's an assault weapon. A lot of our carry guns would be assault weapons underneath this ban. That's why he's going and talking about his father-in-law. I really wish these people would argue this stuff a bit differently, but he's not. Oh yeah, this is it. This is the wild corn snake. She is, for a wild snake, probably the most mild-mannered wild snake I think I've ever seen. And she is beautiful.
She's fixing a shed. She's real dark.
Yeah, she is getting dark. She's grown a lot.
Pretty soon, little
Anyway,
baby,
we'll watch this. I'm going to
same
see if I
thing.
can send the video over here where we can watch.
You two are going to be able to be in the same tank soon.
True thing that he was
Oh,
able to
they'd
do
be
every
fine in
hunting
the same
season
tank
was get
now.
out and hunt. We do that together since childhood, since my
I
childhood.
really like.
And he hasn't been able to do that because the firearms that he has for hunting, especially
Need to work
when
on
it
her.
comes to high-powered rifles or shotguns, would bruise him so substantially that
Checking each
he
other out.
wasn't able to do it anymore. The The result was much less enjoyable
think it
than
went.
the harvest that we get on any hunt. So we had to modify
Wow, what's
the
up,
semi-automatic
my
shotgun,
brother?
and we're in the process right now of suppressing that. And it would either be a thumb hole stock or a pistol grip. All of those would make
Maybe
this
kinda?
shotgun
I don't know whether I'd call snakes
an assault
social,
weapon and
but they
banned
can be
under
communal.
this bill. For
In
somebody
other words, they
that-
don't
that's the
necessarily
only
seek
thing that
out
they can
attention from other
use
animals unless
is
it's
something
mating
modified
season,
to
but
that
they will
degree
live together
to be
easily.
able to use it for hunting, to be able to use it as something that won't beat them up so badly
Why in
to
the
hunt,
hell is this
that
looking
much
so-
just way too unenjoyable to even fulfill. So that's what we're doing, not only to people like that are struggling with medical issues, but people that have disabilities.
Oh, my Zoom's at
You can't
300%.
buy a
The hell,
modified
really?
firearm, or you can't buy modifications for a firearm because it turns it into this outlandish assault weapon. We are doing harm, and this is that bill that does more harm than good.
All right. Hold on. Let me
I
pause
always
this,
hear
dude.
that if it saves one life. When we're
I'll show you guys a quick video of what we call the pine cone game. Share this over. So, make that bigger. So this is my mother and father-in-law shepherd. Said he's about 120 pounds, easy. He's a big dog. Underneath my boot is a chunk of pine cone.
Get it, get it, get it.
And my only objective is to slide it through the slats on the deck right there.
I was gonna say you gotta explain that
And
he's got his goal is to catch
Yeah.
it. Yours is to make it through the run. His
he's
goalie.
he's a goalie. He's trying to keep me from sliding it through the fence rails. And then when he runs off the fence, he bitches at me the whole way. But then he'll come back up with it. And if I don't play the game, he pretty much drops it underneath my boot. Now, he is becoming a seriously sore loser with this. He started grabbing my pants leg. Yeah, I'll play it one more time. He started grabbing my pants leg and pulling my foot off the pine cone.
Get it, get it, get it.
Nice, 'cause he can tear your-
Oh, that dog could rip you a new one. Like I said, he is starting to be a sore loser, though. I've got scars on the side of my work boots from him. Because he'll grab my, and I have the pine cone underneath my boot.
You scratch?
He will grab my entire boot and pull it off the pine cone, or he'll grab my pants leg and pull my leg up
Ooh, wait.
to pull my. Hold on, I got to snake through a belt loop. Come on, just let her go. I got it.
You gotta. I'm not holding her. She's holding me.
Yeah, it's gonna see my wife's butt. Yeah, I got to snake through a belt loop.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, you got to
I was
at least turn it the good ways.
I know, but I was trying to show them the predicament.
Come on, baby, go
Is
through
she
this
gonna-
way. No, you're
Can she
not.
fit?
You are not turning yourself back through there. Yeah, she can fit. This
I
is
mean,
the kind of
I'll
stuff.
cut my belt loop if I need to.
Who else's streams do you see stuff like this on? Come on, baby.
This
Come
one's
on.
honey.
Yeah, this is honey. Come on. I guarantee you can't go to damn Grand Thumb's channel and see shit like this.
Naughty little girl.
All right. So now you guys have seen a snake caught in my wife's belt loop. You've seen the pine cone game. So back to Colorado.
Do you have any jelly so I can put it on my biscuit?
We're willing to
There's honey.
sacrifice everything
Okay.
Don't
for
use
everyone
all
to
my
be able to
honey.
protect themselves. The
Yeah.
amount of lives it will cost.
Snakes.
For
Why?
somebody
Why did
to-
it have to be snakes?
Just to be able to say, I
Damn
saved a
Indiana
life.
Jones.
cost all of these other lives. I don't like that.
Snakes. Why did it
I think
have to
that's
be
dangerous.
snakes?
I think that's inappropriate in
Those
what we're
snakes are
doing, making
great.
laws for
Snakes
our
are
state and
awesome.
for our citizens.
They get a seriously
When
bad
we're
rap,
making
but they
laws
are
like
great.
this, we aren't making laws that benefit. We are making
Stick
laws
them
that
two together and
restrict.
be fine.
We aren't restricting
I
the
don't
right
like the way
people.
baby's tail looks.
I think one of the
Oh, there's one.
key important things on
Aw.
this is when we're talking about what firearms are that are classified as
Yeah,
assault
that's
weapons.
the-
I got
I still got to test
the
this.
something that we were able to
60
find in our
something
study.
bucks
Based
for a
on
red dot. I think it was
2020
59 when
murders that
I
happened in
bought it that
Colorado
night.
in 2020. And we're talking, this would include mass murders, mass shootings, but total murders in Colorado the year of 2020 on the FBI statistics, 293. Total of those that were firearms were 202. Of those firearm related murders, 141 of those, out of those 202, 141 of them were done with handguns.
Which means the
Eight of them-
majority
Eight
of
single digit,
murders
8
with
of them
firearms
were
are
with
handguns.
rifles. One of them was with a shotgun. We have 40,
And wait till these
by
handgun
knives or
people see
cutting
someone
instruments.
walk into a place
37
with a
by other
shotgun
weapons,
with a mix of
probably
buckshot
blunt
and
force, whatever you want
slugs
to consider in
and
there.
see what that
And then
does to the human
14
body.
by simply hands, fists, and feet.
Guys that are on the, they don't want to talk about it.
Very,
They
very
don't own assault
substantial
weapons.
majority. We're talking
Wait till that
202. I'm not going to sit here and do
because all your
cowboy
turkey
math like my
guns,
colleague
goose
on the Eastern
guns,
Plains,
deer
but
guns, all those
141 out of that
are on the
202 were
table.
handguns. That's troubling. And I can assure you of those handguns, we are talking about stolen handguns. We are talking about, I'm speaking from law enforcement experience. I'm not speaking from a guesstimation or something that I have no experience talking about or no business talking about. Stolen handguns are used in violent crimes. And when we're talking the majority of those violent crimes, vast majority, committed by handguns, we're talking about stolen handguns. We're not addressing handguns in here. We're not addressing the theft. We're not addressing the punishment of people that commit crimes with firearms or steal firearms. We're talking about tools that people can purchase. And when we're talking about tools that people can purchase, we're talking about how we can take that right away for people to purchase a tool. Now, the glorified mass shootings that we see on the news, the ones that are brought up because it's clickbait, it's something that people hear, oh no, this happened again. Those are the few mass shootings that actually make the news. And those are done with weapons that get the clickbait. Somebody did something with a long, black, scary looking firearm, and we need to get it on the news.
Yeah, brother
What you
Fluffy,
don't
if
see,
you only knew.
unless you're paying attention to our nightly news.
I
here in
definitely got a
Colorado,
tiger
your
by the
local news
tail.
station, are the countless, just constantly seeing such
And
and
a
such,
bruise on my
3
shin
people
from the
killed in
pine
Denver,
cone game.
shooting in Denver, 2 people dead. All this stuff happening right here in Colorado.
I need to
right
post
here
that as a short.
in our neighborhood that we're working in on a daily basis. Those are handgun deaths. Those are
Matter of fact, I
gang
might do
involved
that
shootings
while
and
we're sitting here
otherwise
listening
robberies
to this
gone
whole
wrong.
shit.
Representative
invasions.
Armaguest, you have 1 minute from him remaining.
Thank you,
So-
Madam Speaker. We're going the wrong direction.
You
And I
listen
wanna
to the
read
way this
another
House
thing.
Speaker treats
When we're
The
talking about
people
the
for the
constant
ban and the people
ideology in
against
here
the
where
ban.
we can do this
Tell me
and
if
this
there's
and
not some bias involved in that.
protect our own and let a house or let a bill get out of the House, the Senate will fix it for us. The fact that we're doing that is wrong, but especially when we know what's going to happen to this bill. In the Colorado Sun interview with Senate President Steve Fenberg, he would not vote for the bill. The Boulder Democrat, I'm quoting, isn't sure House Bill 1292, which would ban the purchase, sale, and transfer of a broad swath of semi-automatic weapons defined in this measure as assault weapons, would be as effective as promised. And for those reasons, he doubts it will get through or get enough support in his chamber to pass if it makes it out of the House as expected.
Representative Armaguest, your time has expired.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Vote no.
Representative Weinberg.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's a privilege to serve with you.
And a privilege to serve with you.
74th General Assembly.
This is a dude from
I
South
rise in
Africa that
opposition
spoke.
of this bill. I'm sure, as you all know, I did not come from this country. I am born and raised in South Africa. And one of the reasons my family chose to leave was we were robbed at gunpoint. The only thing that prepared us to counter was having firearms. We came to this country because it literally allows for people to be able to protect themselves. What's happening in our supermarkets and in our schools is horrific. But I'll tell you now, from everything I've experienced, an all-out ban doesn't fix the problem. Because there is literally no way to ban illegal firearms. I wish to convey to you today that this will be detrimental. In fact, throw the detrimental out the window. This is against the Constitution. This is not allowed. I'm clueless how we get into this chamber and dare try to pass a bill that is against our founding documents. I don't understand that. We swear an oath to the Constitution and then we write bills against them?
You think?
It literally goes past my head every single time. I had to take the test to become a naturalized citizen of this country. 100 plus questions of why and how this country is in existence.
You know, and that's a hell of a point, Lightning, because we have a lot of people who come to this country, both legally and illegally, that actually care about the rights that are supposed to be protected, not given, but protected by our Constitution. Hold on, I'll throw myself on camera again. Find the right one. All right, so we have a lot of people that immigrate to this country, illegally and illegally, that come to this country, and they immigrate here for either reason or either way, legally or illegally, that actually care about the constitutional restrictions on our government. There is a large part of immigrants that come to this country that feel that way. I will submit to you that by proportion, there are more immigrants that come to this country, legally or illegally, that feel that way about our Constitution and our rights than people born here naturally. Because the people who are born here naturally have so squandered those rights and so taken them for granted. But the people who have immigrated here legally and illegally are coming here for those specific rights. And they know more about our Constitution than people that were born here generation after generation, because people here have become so goddamn spoiled and so absolutely uninformed that something like an assault weapons ban just seems like, oh yeah, we can do that. Hey, it's the government. Getting back to a point earlier, and I'll probably point to it a few times tonight, the leftists in charge of our education system for the last 80 years, at least 80 years, that's how we get to people who don't even understand their very basic rights. And that we have these rights, and we had these rights before the government. We just put a document in front of our government that said that these rights are protected and you can't touch them. Right to bear arms. That has been a natural human right. If you believe man crawled out of a pool of goo, became one thing, became an ape, did the whole Cro-Magnon, and then became us, it has been a right since then for a person to defend themselves with whatever tools they deem necessary. It's been our natural right to speak. It's been our natural rights against the government just kicking in our doors and going through all of our shit. Those are rights. Those aren't for debate. It's not a popularity contest. Oh, I don't like that. Hey, do that to that person. I don't like that. These drug dealers, yeah, they may have shit in their house. Just kick their door in any time of the day and night and just go do what you got to do. No, that's not the way this shit works. And yeah, Fluffy, for some of you who haven't heard me talk about it before, Coop, my last name, my wife's name starts with a T. That's part of where C&T Designs comes from, and it also works into come and take. Hence my channel. But we either have rights or we don't. Rights aren't up for a popularity contest. If it's up for a popularity contest, that's a privilege, not a right. The plasma cut back there says, license a right, it's not a right. It's the way it works. If the government can just simply take it away from you, even though you've never done anything to harm another living being on this planet, it's not a right anymore. It is a privilege. When you can take the rights away from people, which we are vast or quickly approaching, here's a warning to all you leftists in the United States. And yeah, Lightning mentions COVID restriction. Here's a warning to you guys. Sooner or later, you're going to push people like me and people like that are in this chat right now who merely want to be left alone, live our lives, take care of our families, be able to afford a half-assed decent living. Sooner or later, you're going to push us far enough where whatever you write on paper isn't going to matter any longer. And when your state-imposed violence, because that's what this is state-imposed violence against these non-violent people, when it reaches a certain level, those people are going to use all the tools that they had, that they could have been using decades ago. Those people are going to use those tools, and you don't want the fight you got coming. If you want to go after violent people, people committing crimes, people unduly depriving people of life, liberty, or property, we are all with you on that. We will support you 100%. Because we believe people ought to be able to live their lives. I don't give a shit what you do. Gay, straight, lesbian, LBG, whatever. I don't care. But when violence is actually enacted, it needs to be enacted because of a just cause. If you don't have a just cause and you enact violence on people, a guy getting shot in his face in his home at 6 o'clock in the morning because he sold guns without government's position or permission, sooner or later you are going to cross a line where these people who don't want violence, who don't want the fight, sooner or later you're going to cross that line. And if you think that group that I mentioned earlier in Tennessee was a big thing, if you think the original Bundy standoff was a big thing, you have not seen jack shit yet. Just a general warning for all of you dickheads who want these gun bans. You're going to put people in a box, and I guarantee you a squirrel out of my front yard, when you put that joker in a box, it will kick your ass. I've got scars from squirrels. Little old, hey, cutes. Sooner or later, when you back them into a corner, they are going to come out of that corner, and you don't want this fight. You don't want it. But you're too fucking stupid to see what's in front of you. Where we could get along, we could have a great country, we can go about our lives, we can argue about stupid shit all day long. But you want 100% control. That may have worked in a lot of other countries. It is not going to work in the United States. There are too many people like me, too many people like other people in this chat that just want to live a peaceful life. But when you fuck with our family, shit's going to get real. Yeah. That's your public service announcement. I learned to talk one day, I swear. Public service announcement for the day for all of you little leftist wannabe tyrants. You don't want the fight that you're pushing for.
I would urge everyone to get a copy of the test. In fact, if you need me to print it off, I still have one. On nonsensical reason. Let me repeat that, please. Nonsensical reason to violate the oath and documents of this great country. As some of you know, this building with all my heart. And I'm learning a lot about it. I show people around and teach people a few things. The Supreme Court that sits where it does now.
Yeah, most of
has
us are
pillars
reasonable
moving
people,
up to
man.
a
We
tip,
want to live our lives. We
which
want to
faces
go
the
to
road,
work, take
which
care of our
faces
families,
the House chambers.
and live a
Architecturally,
life
that
that
was
doesn't
designed.
negatively affect others.
If any of you didn't know that. And when you pass it coming up, pay attention. The reason the architects designed it so that the tip faced the House of Representative chamber was so that they would always
Push reasonable people far enough and you get.
And would hope that unconstitutional law would never be put into practice. This, fellow colleagues, is unconstitutional.
Yeah, Lightning Man, we see plenty of people immigrating
and
here.
a naturalized born citizen such as myself would beg you to reconsider such a nonsensical bill. There's literally no reason to putting in place anything that would hurt innocent and protect criminal. And that is literally what this does. You are not going to ban the weapons that were stolen. You are not going to ban criminals from being able to get one. When we had East High protesters come in this building last year, and I sat with them in a room on the 3rd floor, and they showed me how easy it was for them to attain a firearm, this bill does not ban them from attaining a firearm.
Yeah, 100%, Sam.
On a Sunday, coming up to 1 o'clock, we're discussing a 3rd reading of a bill that has no place in the state.
And yeah,
of
that whole
Colorado.
Pfizer reauthorization, which I didn't see how the vote went today because they were voting on it again today. Maybe I should be checking on that. Maybe I'll hit it tomorrow, but yeah, that's
I am
insanity.
trying deeply to understand your motives. And even on the drive down today with my kids and my wife who are in the building, because I refuse on a Sunday to be without my family,
And
I'm
again,
drawn
this was
to a
Sunday. This
non-conclusion
was yesterday.
as to why would we dare consider harm, because this bill is harmful. We are put in this chamber by people. And they expect us to abide by the oaths we took. When I got sworn in on this chamber, I never thought once I would see legislation like this. And today, Congressmen and Congresswomen, I am appalled.
Yeah, I'm thinking about a belt-fed mount in the back of my truck these days.
My district, which is the city of Loveland, as you all understand and know, does not accept this bill. The 86,000 people in my area have charged me with the duty of telling you no. Democrats, unaffiliates, Republicans alike.
Representative Weinberg, you have 1 minute remaining.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I plead with you,
Coming at
as
you,
I've
dog.
done with other things. This is not the business of this legislature. And with all due respect to your ideas, this is unconstitutional, and we should stop wasting Colorado's time. I urge a no vote.
Representative Joseph.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You should have got it.
Members, gun violence prevention save lives. HB 24-1292, which prohibits certain weapons used in mass shooting, will save lives. HB 1292 will not eliminate all gun violence, but it will curb mass shootings. As someone from the Boulder community who has been touched by mass shooting, we need this bill to protect lives in our communities. I ask all my colleagues to support this
Let me
bill.
pause this for a second.
2 years ago,
So notice the way that they name this bill. Now I have to look up the one in Alabama right now, which has to do with the transfer of certain weapons to certain people. And understand, all of these bills that they're voting on are coming from Giffords and Brady, supported by Moms Demand in every town, all these anti-gun groups. But the way they word this bill is a bill to prevent the transfer of certain firearms used in mass shootings. The vast majority of mass shootings are done with a simple handgun, whether it is a revolver, whether it's a semi-automatic. It is typically a handgun. This has nothing to do with saving lives. Nothing. And most of these people that are pushing these bills know that. Are there some that don't? Yeah, there are some. Most of the ones pushing this bill, they know it's not going to save a single goddamn life. I'm not going to give them the credit that others do.
Two years ago in Boulder, we had a mass shooting, which took place on March 22, 2021. We are still recovering. 10 lives too many were taken that day. And today you have this opportunity to vote yes on this bill, HB 1292.
Yep, Fluffy.
To show to the families of the victims, that we heard them and that we're working.
Yeah, you're
to
right,
curb
Lightning.
gun
Not far
violence
behind
in our
Illinois.
community.
They are bringing it up.
In honor of these lives, I ask you to please vote yes. And I wanted to respond or add to some of the narratives that I heard earlier today and also Friday. Last year, there was a group that came here to the Capitol, and it was a group of nurses, and this bill was being heard that day. And I ended up in the basement, and I was talking to one of the nurses coming from Boulder. And as we were discussing
We see almost
a very
every time,
bill
Bob,
similar to this
is there
one, which
were
was the
laws in
assault
place
weapons ban from last year,
that
bill
should have
from
been
last year.
followed, and they weren't.
That community member who
So it
works
comes down to the government
at the
dropping the
Boulder
ball
Community
every
Hospital
single
told
time.
me that these type of weapons are not used for hunting.
Our brother.
Because when hunters use these type of
There's Brother Dark.
weapons,
What's up?
the meat
What's up,
is
brother?
not
How's it going?
edible. So
Shit, ain't nothing but another day. You know how that goes.
why are these type of weapons?
Yeah, man, I feel you.
Why do they exist in our community?
I just
or our
I just wanted
communities?
to bring something
There was
up
a
really
comment
quickly
made earlier
before
about
can
not being born in
can we
this
just take
country,
like a
and many
minute
of
or
you
two with this to the side? I know I hate to take away from the topic, but if we could pause it for a minute, it basically like
No, let's pause, man.
I appreciate it. I'm basically looking. I find myself looking at things differently, like now, and part of it was that we used to stay focused in like our own zone, right? Of whatever our area was, whatever our thing was, whatever our state. People in Virginia and then people in people in my state and your state usually wouldn't give a shit about what was going on in Colorado, right? It has
Yeah,
nothing to do with
yeah.
us. Our own community would be like, we'll move. Like what's wrong? Like if you don't like it there, move, right? Run for office or move. That's what we would tell people.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, time goes by, we're all becoming more aware. We're all watching the speed at which information finds its way to us is crazy, right? Like the amount of information we have at our fingertips is insane nowadays. So I joke around a lot, I fuck around a lot, but the reality is that we're in a dire situation where they know that they can't just have some baboon on the national stage like Joe Biden come up and just stroke a pen and federally, nationally just shut down what they want, right? Which is firearms that would give us any potential edge and any kind of resistance to the government,
Yeah.
right? So now we're seeing a lot of people become more active, whether they're, shit going on in their state or not. Virginia, we just dodged a bullet again, and we had nearly 40 different bills that were being proposed that actually made it through the House, but the governor vetoed all of them.
Yeah, well, they made it through the House and the Senate,
and the
and
Senate.
then the governor vetoed them.
Yep. Which I'm blown away at, because he has never openly said or done anything pro 2A. So that was an experience.
Amazed me.
Yeah, I was really blown away, especially since he has future political aspirations. But I say all this to say this. There was once a time where it was, bump stocks, I don't even use those. Who cares?
Yeah,
Right?
who cares?
Yeah, I don't use them. They're stupid. Who cares? It was
Binaries.
never. Yeah, it was never about the bump stocks, right? Then it was like, frames and receivers, I'm not a builder, whatever, I don't care, take them, right? Or braces, no big deal, right? And constantly we keep running into the shit. And if we have not realized that, because they know that they can't, or shouldn't jump in and just federally lay a blanket over the United States and say, you can no longer have X, Y, and Z, or do this, right? That, because clearly that would be, think of the reaction from people like us if it was just like, boom, tomorrow, ARs, AKs, Glocks, all that stuff was gone.
We've been dealing with that forever. When and I need to do another stream on it. When we went through the House hearings for the 1934 NFA, it was admitted in that hearing from the Attorney General and a bunch of other people, because he was asked by Congress people, why can't we just ban these things? And he told them then, we can't ban these machine guns because that would be unconstitutional.
Yeah, there's too much.
That's why we're going with a
constitutional
taxing law versus a ban on people having these things. And that was understood forever.
Yep.
Now we're so far away from that. And we've dealt with so many iterations of these gun laws that people think, yeah, the government can ban stuff. It's okay. They got the power. No, they don't.
They don't. And as a matter of fact, like we were talking about earlier, or in chat, we were talking about their only job is to ensure that no one else, including themselves, encroaches on your constitutionally protected rights, your natural rights. But now, if you guys can't see the game plan, because I see a lot of people that live in other states and they're like, what's going on in Colorado? That sucks. It's like, dude, if you don't see that they are trying to take us out one state at a time, absolutely the only reason that the government would want to take your guns is if they are planning on doing something that you would shoot them for, right? It's serious. Even though I joke around a lot, I fuck around a lot, the reality is that we have to at least get involved or prepare, pick your lane, whatever it is, y'all. It's becoming too clear that they're now trying on an individual status. And if you want your neighborhood, your front yard, your community, your county to look like places in California, New York, where people are walking into stores with blow torches, stealing shit, beating people up, walking around, robbing people at gunpoint, poking random people with HIV infected needles and human shit all over the place. I mean, absolute, utter, disgusting, just cesspools filled with evil, and they want evil. Take 10 minutes, go on Instagram, go on YouTube. You know what? Do this when you guys have time after the stream, of course. Go on YouTube and go to the live streams and just go through and just scan through all the vertical live streams that are going on right now. Guarantee you, if you do it for more than 2 minutes, you will see 80% evil. I'm talking like people promoting mutilation, sodomy, fucking just disgusting shit, all the leftist extreme bullshit that we, don't agree with. It is getting pumped down the throats of the youth of our nation, in conjunction with removing our tools of self-preservation, in conjunction with, making us as broke as possible, and everything. This is an attack on all fronts. and we are sitting in a pot of water that is 211 degrees right now, chilling.
Yeah, dude, you are not wrong about any of that. I'm looking for the exact page right now, and I might go ahead and post this one, and then people can jump down their own damn rabbit hole. But let me see whether I can find it. I'll give it another second or two.
Hey,
But
by the way, real quick, I just saw Frag Out said, I need everyone to send positive vibes right now. I got power to the laser. I'm about to turn it on for the first time in months. I hope it survives the
oh
move.
yeah,
I'm so nervous, bro. Good luck, bro.
frag, all the positive vibes, brother. All
Hell
of
yeah,
them.
man. Hell yeah.
Pat lady on the head, rubber on the butt,
Mm-hmm.
smoke a joint, do whatever you got to do, and then hit the power on.
Rub one out.
Yeah, rub one out. Gabber, what's up, my brother? I just saw you in here. But yeah,
Gabber,
let me
what's up,
find.
bro?
I'm trying to find a page from FPC. If you go to FPC, Firearms Policy Coalition,
Mm-hmm.
couple pages in, bounce to a couple tabs, you can find all of their ongoing lawsuits. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to Gifford's Law, who the complete anti-gun assholes, you
Yep.
can find their page set up the same way. You
Mm-hmm.
can go to Brady and find up that exact kind of same setup. All the lawsuits are going through right now.
Yeah.
And if I can find it real quick, I'll post that. And that's the reason I follow things like this, is to kind of see what's coming down the pipe and what's happening now. Maybe look a little into the future. But yeah, if you think, oh, I'm like Alabama, we've got an assault weapons ban, red flag laws, and a couple other anti-gun bills in Alabama right now. I don't think they'll see the light of day right now.
Yeah.
Did I do a video on them? Yes, because I think people need to address it before it becomes the issue, versus waiting till you're looking down the barrel of what Colorado's looking through, and then all of a sudden waking up and going, oh, well, shit.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we need to say something. Well, who is VCDL did their stream last night,
Mm-hmm.
and they talked about things like that. They had William Kirk on from Washington Gun Law.
Yeah. He's a good dude.
Huh? And they talked about some stuff that's very much similar. And in 2020 in Virginia, you had 50,000 gun owners show up in that place
From
and try to
all
tell
over
the
the
government you
country.
can't do this shit.
Yep.
And
from all
what
over
did
the
they
country.
do?
They didn't do it. And that's the thing. It's
But
like
it needs every single year until they get the point.
Yep. And look. Okay, so this is a beautiful example. That year, whatever, 50, 60, 80, 20, a fuck ton of people, right? Let's say 50,000 people went there, most armed in full kit. I mean, I had family in Richmond. I grew up in Richmond. My grandfather used to walk me to the Robert E. Lee statue, which, by the way, was torn down by psychopathic activists.
Leftist.
Yep. But seeing my area completely flooded with dudes in full kit was, one, inspiring, but two, terrifying, right? But like you said, the government did not, I mean, whatever it was, the government was like, fuck this. We're not, we have to listen. We're forced to listen. What are we going to do? We got 2,000 cops and 50, 60,000 dudes out there in full kit. The math doesn't work. So anyway, two years later, 2,000 people showed up. This past year in January, 200 people showed up. So, we're not continuing the fight, right? We were at the same risk. Some would say more risk this past year when these bills are about to pass, right? And to see that, 200 people showed up as opposed to 50,000, like, I don't know what it was, if it just caught the social media bug. I know a lot of people say Virginia is a battleground state, so it's like if Virginia fully turns, and we have turned in a lot of ways, but that's the same level of energy we need to bring to every potential invasion of or encroaching of our natural rights.
What the fuck did I just read? Hold on. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna share a tab real fast. I'm on Gifford's Law picking around and stuff. And I just skimmed this real fast. Where was I at?
Yeah, there's
The
some
gun industry, it's in its trades group, National Shooting Sports Foundation, have also cultivated get this, an exceptionally cozy relationship with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. So the gun industry is cozy with the ATF.
the industry needs to. It literally has to be. There's not a choice.
Yeah, but this is saying they are, and that's in no way, shape, or form true.
No, it is a literal like what do you call it? A necessity, like an evil, necessary evil, right? Like
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's stupid. They're trying to. It's the same shit they try to do. It's not necessarily the information they're giving. It's the way that they're giving the information that skews perception. You know, but fuck them. And again, I joke a lot, right? But when I say like they're welcome to come take my guns, but they got to take my ammo first, make no mistake that I am not kidding. I will literally die on my fucking porch saying no, right? Like,
Yes.
but also know that that doesn't make me special or make me a patriot or whatever. I don't even really kind of like, I don't like that word because it's a self-anointed term that people give themselves because they're patriotic, which is different. Being a patriot and being patriotic is very different, right? But me saying in my in my fucking office at home, in my gun room at home, me saying, oh, I'll fight and die for this shit, and I'm being dead ass serious, isn't doing shit for the fight, right? It's doing absolutely nothing for the fight. The difference is getting involved, going out there. You got a voice, create a channel, create a YouTube channel, Rumble channel, to do all an Instagram, whatever. Get out there and just do something, guys, because the more we get out there, the more our faces and names and I mean, not names, but like the more that like we echo through, it's gonna do more for the cause.
That's why I started my channel. And what I think I started in 2020. It wasn't too long after I was on my first stream ever with you and Crump. Because this is the voice I have. I can't call up the news and tell them, hey, no, wait a second, they're lying about that.
Yeah.
However, I could start a channel, and that's why I started my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you and John Crump doing your thing really showed me that I could try to do mine. Now
You're doing
I'm
great,
a lot different.
man.
I'm a lot more emotional, off the wall, smart ass humor, and I go off the rails quick. But still, this is my voice.
Dude, I honestly, I like every time we're on stream and we say that we admire what you do, like I'm dead ass serious every time I've said anything positive,
Dude, I appreciate that.
You got more patience than I do. I could fucking never.
I just drink more than you do, Dark.
That's probably true. It's
there is that.
Yeah. I could not sit there and listen to liars and thieves all day saying this is why we're going to take. The reality here is this, guys. Last year there were what 461 deaths. In 2023, I believe there were 461 deaths from all rifles. 461 or 561?
And that's every cause of death.
Every rifle, every cause of death, self-inflicted, accidental, negligent discharge, accidental discharge, fucking out of battery, dude takes a, brass, part of a barrel liner to his frontal lobe, like whatever it was, like every single possible death, accidental or purposeful suicide, whatever, by a rifle. And I can't remember if it was 461 or 561, but either way, please understand that the reason they are coming after these guns, and y'all know it, right? I'm hoping that maybe there's somebody out there that is seeing this or going to see
Yeah.
this that's going to be like, oh shit, this has got to be bullshit, right? If they truly gave a fuck about more people have died from the vax than have died at the hand of rifles alone, let alone if you want to
Absolutely.
start getting into the tiny, I mean, extremely small, amount of AR-15 deaths, which is even
Yeah.
smaller, percentages than we're talking about here, versus like, I don't know, plastic inhalation. You know how many people died of fucking, poisoning last year? What about
Oh, dude,
fentanyl? Oh, like over
we've done
100
that.
fentanyl ODs a day.
We've looked at CDC statistics, and it's you have to weed through their stuff because the way they phrase everything, they're trying to blow the lines out on stuff. So we just looked at innocent, or I can't remember how they phrase it. Basically, innocent firearms death, innocent car accident deaths, and innocent poisoning deaths from household chemicals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, innocent. In other words, they weren't playing with a firearm. They weren't trying to shoot each other with a firearm. It's like 100 and something of them in a year,
Mm-hmm.
which is still horrible.
Yeah.
But when you
Every
manage
death.
that, or when you look at that against household chemicals was like 10 times that. And
Oh,
when you
for
look
sure.
at vehicle accidents, that's like 10 times that. It's
Easy,
nowhere
easy.
near a leading cause of death for innocent children going about their lives, just,
It is,
being kids.
you are literally, I think it was 30 times more likely to be strangled by your own bed sheets while you sleep. 100% factual, okay? We're not joking. You are more likely to get strangled by your bed sheets at night. More
Oh,
people
yeah.
die, and I couldn't believe that. But we say all this, and I don't mean to speak for you. I'm just saying, so you guys know without a shadow of a doubt, 100% certainty, that none of this is for safety. Absolutely none of this has
None of
anything to
it.
do with safety. It never had anything to do with safety. 1934 didn't have anything to do with safety. 68, 86, none of this shit. 94 to 04, nothing to do with safety. This is
Nothing to
all about
do.
control.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with saving innocent lives.
And if
And
you're
Opie
looking for
Gabber's
proof,
welcome on the stream anytime, man. He should know that already. But the link's posted in the chat, and it's open to anybody. Hell, we'll turn it to the hangout for the next, 45 minutes. I can hang out.
yeah, come on. I'm gonna
And
have
we'll
to
just
run in a
hang.
sec, but I get the
Gabber, what's up, brother?
Uncensored podcast tonight. What's up, bro?
I don't know that 8-boiler guy. I don't know why he wants me on here so bad.
There ain't no tell. Oh, here's MGTOW showing up. What's up, cowboy?
What's up?
What up?
What's up, brother?
But I'll show you guys something before we get kind of started in a chat again. Let me show you something with Giffords. These are all the amicus briefs that Giffords has floated right now. And I got to go back and look through these and read a lot of these in these cases. But these are all the freaking briefs. United States v. Prince, Vanderstock, Garland, Engar v. Lamont, Vermont Federation, Brown versus ATF, or these aren't all of them. These are just the ones they're sponsoring. Miller v. Bonta.
Hey, I got to grab
Fraser
a drink, but
v.
keep going. Keep going.
There are some major cases where Giffords is actually writing the amicus briefs for the state. And if you don't understand the weight of that, they're basically using Giffords, the anti-gun organization, as the experts in these cases. And if you've listened through the last arguments for the 7th Circuit that I've been through, or the last ones from the 9th Circuit, that's where all of their experts are coming from, is Giffords and Brady and Everytown and all that. That's where all their so-called gun experts are coming from. So So now that I've said that, what's up, guys?
What's up? What's up? I haven't been here for much of the discussion, but I'm going to assume I don't know if you guys have heard of Colorado's deal going on right now.
The assault weapons ban? Yeah, we were just talking about that.
Okay. So you guys are already in the know.
Yeah,
then.
they were in session. And I said it earlier on the stream. I don't know how often it is. It passed the House because the House voted on it yesterday. They were in session all day Sunday and voted on it in the House and passed it. Now it has to pass the Senate. But I don't know how, and this is one of those things, I don't know how out of the ordinary it is for Colorado to go into session on Sunday, but typically Saturdays are a damn near no-go for legislators to be in session, and Sundays are a oh hell no. But this is where you see Colorado in session on a Sunday to pass this shit. Oh, now Sam's in. What's up, Sam?
What's going on, everybody?
I was racking a slide.
Oh, that's my new shotgun.
Yeah, I heard that.
Nice. That's the 940.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they are desperate to take people's ability to own whatever the fuck they want to own away from. They're damn bound and determined to get this shit taken away from us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, we've all talked about it before, plenty on our own channels and the streams before. This is all about control. This has nothing to do with safety or saving lives. It's all about absolute control. Period.
Yeah.
End of story.
Well, I've beat this horse on my channel quite a few times, and
you
guess
beat
I'll,
your monkey
I'll
on
beat
your
it
channel
more,
too.
but...
We talked about that.
No, who was that? Who was that? Was making them noises the other day on stream. That was funny. But they oh shit! Now I lost my train of thought. Damn it!
Yeah, I was fixing to say, get back to your train of thought, man. I gotta bust your balls a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's right. So it's like you said, it's about control, right? Well, all right. I mean, I can't disagree that there are some people who are just irresponsible as fuck and just outright maniacs, and those people, where they belong. Okay, but I've often said the whole no guns for felons thing. I mean, there's no voting rights, so that precludes your ability to change anything. We have through the 14th, I think it's through the 14th Amendment, seen the government repeatedly, time and again, assert dominion over people in such a way that basically it's they're saying they're slaves. All right,
Yeah.
the 14th Amendment is why the government is the only ones to have indentured servants, and I think we really saw that kick off hardball with the Gun Control Act of 1934.
Yeah.
If we didn't have any of that shit, because that right there is what implies to the government or to the people and to the government, really. It sets the precedent that they have authority to exercise or exert control over rights that they never had the authority to.
And the whole thing with the 34 NFA, and I did a bunch of research on it, and I'll have to find Law Self-Defense's stream and post it. He did 2 streams on Miller. And it was over a law article that another guy did. And what it came down to is when Miller and his cohort got trapped up with that short-barreled shotgun, the judge they went in front of them in the state was completely anti-gun. And he wanted this to go to the Supreme Court because he knew the Supreme Court had pressure put on them to rule the way the government wanted them to rule. It was about court packing and a bunch of other stuff. There was a bunch of pressure involved in it.
And he thought that it would end in his favor, in their favor.
Yeah, he thought it would end in their favor ultimately. So what he said is no, the government can't control these guns and send it up the chain. But when it gets to the Supreme Court, I think Miller's dead. His co-defendant is missing, and their lawyer's not even there. And the Supreme Court only takes the state evidence and rules in favor of the state.
But they
That's
did
fishy as
so.
fuck.
Well, yeah, the fact that he was dead, and I think they had said that he died of it was like a heart attack or some shit like that.
Well, no, there was, and I thought that before because I went through a period of time where I thought Miller just went missing, like him and his cohort just escaped and went on about their lives. But from what it sounded like from the stuff from law self defense the other day, is Miller was actually killed in a gang killing. I mean, they shot him up, burned his car down with him in it.
Oh
And I
wow!
can't remember what happened to his buddy. His buddy may have been the one that died of the heart attack.
But he was MIA. I do remember somebody was MIA, like not found
Oh yeah,
dead. Not
both of them weren't there.
so. What was said during Miller was that because the Second Amendment, the purpose of the Second Amendment is for the militia, blah blah blah. So uh, therefore, it's only to protect military style weapons. And at the
Yes.
time, short barreled shotguns were not an implement of the military. And this is what always drives me crazy because if you fast forward to current time, they say no one that's a civilian should have military style weapons, and that no military style weapons should be protected by our
The
natural
Second
rights
Amendment.
that are supposed to be
Yeah.
protected by the Second Amendment of the Constitution. But 100 years ago, 90 years ago, 85, whatever the fuck, you guys literally said the exact opposite shit.
Yes.
Where have we seen this before? Everywhere else.
Well, that's why I talked about it on stream a couple times before when it came to the gun laws and stuff. By their logic, if Miller and his cohort had been caught with an MG-42 belt-fed machine gun in the back of the car, then they would have been protected.
Based
It
on
wouldn't even
what,
have been an issue. Yeah,
but
the 34 would
they
have died right there.
would they have ruled in that same manner?
No,
Where
they would have played the same game.
you think
They
so?
would have played the exact same game. You've heard me say it before. The government's always playing a game of hide and go fuck yourself, and we can go fuck ourselves first.
Mhm.
And that's what they play. So they change the logic to fit the situation. That's why they changed the definition of words.
Well,
Yeah.
the thing is that whole argument, that whole argument falls flat on its stupid fucking face when you realize that I don't know if it's like in the Federalist Papers or whatever, right? But our founders are quoted in saying, "Who is the militia? I say to you, sir, it is the whole body of the people, every able-bodied man,
Well,
woman, and child."
I can find you a better quote than that real quick. Keep talking. Let me find something.
Behind you, Dirk, with the stock. Is that a P80 with a stock?
Of course not. That would be an SPR. That's a P80 with a brace.
Ooh, that's nice. I was going through some of my old parts and tools, and I found my old P80 drilling jig, the orange plastic they come with. It's like,
Nice.
oh man, I remember these.
Dude,
I had a frame to put in it.
I literally have a business selling P80 jigs.
That's
funny.
hilarious.
Let me share this
Yeah.
real fast. Let me pull this up. So this dude was a lawyer at the time of the founding. Let's read what old Tench had to say about this.
Well, before I read historic text, what I like to do is I like to enjoy a cold, refreshing Red Bull beverage. I'm just kidding. Hey, but let me say this though. No bullshit. Before you read it, I literally have a crippling Red Bull addiction, and today I bumped into a dude delivering Red Bull, and I told him like, "Yo, I do this shit, whatever," and I'm trying to get a Red Bull fridge and
Dark.
Yo,
did that seriously take the place of the McFlurry?
yes. No,
well, there
it
we go.
was
That's all I had to ask.
separated by like a year, but anyway, I ended up talking to this dude. He referred me to this dude. He referred me to this dude. I ended up on the phone with the fucking regional VP for the Northeastern Pacific regional sales manager or whatever the fuck his role was of Red Bull, and I'm trying to get them to send me a fucking fridge. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry, but go ahead.
Dude, that's hysterical. No, actually, that's great.
Oh, I can't wait to
But
talk.
not this dude. And I always pronounce this dude's name wrong. But he was a lawyer during the founding, and this is where you get to it. He said, "Who are the militia? Are they not ourselves? Is it feared then that we shall turn our arms, each man against his own bosom? Congress have no power to disarm the militia, which, if we talk about the militia, it is ourselves, right? Their swords and every terrible implement of the soldier are the birthright of Americans.
Yep.
Fucking right.
That
Doggy.
right there shuts down the
Yep.
gun control debate. Period.
Everything,
In the
all of
story.
it.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So
But
I can have a
that's the thing.
CWIS.
What was
A
that?
what?
I can have a CWIS phalanx.
Yes,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Fuck yes.
You
Don't
could have a
don't hurt
fucking
another
nuke.
person without it or with it without just cause.
Yeah.
I mean,
Here's 8. I never
where
met
does-
8 before. What's up, 8?
where does it stop though? So let me. Well, I'm sorry. I'll let Abe say what's up, and then we'll get into it.
Oh, am I in?
Yeah, you're in, brother.
All right, cool. I got a.
What's
You guys
up,
see the
Abe?
news recently? There's something big happening.
What's up?
My
Iran
balls are
and
flat.
Israel.
On top of other things, but yeah, what you got, 8?
My balls.
I was asked.
Your balls.
Well, if your balls itch, then Sam can scratch them. That's all I got to say.
All right, cool.
There
Thank
may
you, guys.
be some other people in chat
Oh,
that
man.
would be willing to scratch.
See y'all later.
Can't volunteer me for that, man.
I'll come
Hey,
back to my
I
ball
know some
session again.
fag cow guys who might be willing to accommodate you there.
Hey,
Heyo.
Sam, I
Oh,
wasn't
shit.
doing it with my own hands, but I'll use yours.
Hold on. So did we just have a troll come in here and
How thoughtful of you.
the most like intelligent thing he could come up with was that his balls itched?
Possibly.
I like
It's
it.
possible.
Good work.
I
Good
don't
work.
think he was necessarily being a troll. I think he was just being a smartass. That
Oh.
qualifies as smartass, not troll. Troll.
Come
is a whole
back in.
nother
Come
level.
back in, man. Dude,
Come back in, 8 Boiler.
yeah,
Yeah, because we
especially
can be a smartass and hang out.
dude, we're just chilling. We're just talking shit. I don't know. Like I was totally just assuming, which naturally is not
Dark.
intelligent.
How dare you assume someone's?
I know.
There you go.
Strap check. What are you rocking?
Wait, strap check?
Strap check.
Same thing as always. That 19 that I built.
It's not on your person?
No, I took it off. It's sitting right there.
Hey, I want to bounce something off you guys real quick. I'm gonna try it regardless, just to see if it'll work. But
You'll have to find one, baby.
So those officially licensed Umarix variants of the Glock
in the fridge, baby.
Mm-hmm.
pistols, like the BB pistols.
Mm-hmm.
They're supposed to be like the closest possible dimensions to the Glock as you can get, or like they're like spot on with the dimensions or something. What would you do? What do you think about taking something like that and filling the guts with clay, filling the trigger guard in with clay to make a mold out of sand and plaster to pour an aluminum Glock frame with?
So
that would be possible, but
yeah,
Have you guys seen the wooden Glock?
Yes. That thing is
That's
awesome.
hilarious.
Well,
I thought
actually-
about that. I was like, no.
hold on, 8's back.
You can definitely. I would try to cast it out of. It may be tough to do with like an OEM Glock frame, only because the rails are actually integrated. Well, I guess if it's all aluminum, maybe that may work. It may work.
No,
If it's
I've
all
done it
integrated,
with
it
real
would.
Glock
As long
frames
as we can
before.
get,
I did it with my
get
17.
Couldn't we just
Yeah.
scan it with the Xbox Connect and then mill it?
There you go. That's
Fucking God,
possible
that's
too.
a
these
great
days.
idea.
Yeah.
I
mean,
have
you
to.
could-
Well, I've got it on my mind, Coop. I was talking to some of the guys the other night over on Rhino's side. Do you guys know Rhino? I know Sam does.
I don't. I saw him on your stream. What was it, last night or the night before? But I haven't followed him yet. So
We're trying to get some guys together in the community to start teaching these gentlemen here how to do certain things to give them back purpose in their life. And one of them is gun related. I don't know if you was present for that stream I did the other night where we were looking at guns and how to pack ammunition and stuff. One thing that
Oh
I think would
man.
be beneficial to teach a lot of these guys here in the community is how to, reload ammunition. Where to find people that can do that.
Well,
Yeah.
that's where
Hey,
I
you know,
would throw a couple of guys' channels. Let me find one real fast because I should be able to
Bro,
find it quick.
There's a huge problem with ammo
Um,
reloading.
Yeah, go ahead.
You
Hey,
can't
you know
get
something?
primers anymore. All the primers are bought up.
Well,
They're gone.
they're bought up, but you can
Seriously?
find them. But let me
Yeah.
you guys talk. Let me find a couple channels.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a couple. Hey, if you're interested in 3D printing, go to Print Shoot Repeat's channel.
Yeah.
Dude is a fucking beast with that printer, and he has the greatest content, dude. Just a minute. I gotta grab a link. Hang on. Let me
It's
grab this a
Yeah,
link real quick,
grab
and
a
I'll
link
post
and throw
it
it
up.
out. Let me find a couple guys real
Print Shoot
fast.
Repeat is
So-
entertaining, but getting started in 3D printing is tough. Well, nowadays you could just buy a bamboo and click start, but I would go to Freedom Crew University because
Yes, I was about
we
to
have
say that.
classes on like everything from. But if there are guys like that, so are these veterans that are kind of trying to find like something to re-inspire them or kind of like get that passion back?
Well,
Or
the thing with Red Pill and MGTOW and the community that me and Sam are in, these guys are hungry for finding purpose outside of a lot of different avenues in normal everyday life.
There
So,
we go.
a lot of them are divorced. They're not going
Mhm.
back into the dating world. So
Mhm.
these guys are trying to find purpose in a lot of things going forward. And with the coming, whatever we're going to be facing in this country in the next coming years, whether that be famine or, whatever that is,
Mhm.
we're trying to get something together now and teach these guys some things now before this starts hitting, like
Yeah.
like the growing of food and the how to pack ammunition and how to build homesteads and shit like that. So
Well, here's a dude. Let me post him in the chat real fast. So this is AR Patriot.
Oh, also
and
Control Pew's startup guide for 3D printing.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. Oh, and no big deal. I had PSR on my Print Shoot Repeat on my show, and I interviewed him for 3 hours.
yeah, you've had a
you
bunch
know.
of these guys. That's
Oh,
one thing
really?
about Dark's channel, and
That's
Dark,
fucking awesome, dude.
Dark,
I
you
love
should
his
be a
channel. His
video where he shoots the
HK
black
slap
powder
video
Glock.
had me rolling.
Dark,
Yeah,
you
he's
should
fucking
be a
awesome.
mod, man. Post your channel in here because guys need to see you.
I watch
Because
Kentucky
Dark
Ballistics.
has Dark has everybody from all of these different branches on his show all the time, whether
Okay.
it's reloading, whether it's printing, whether it's just
Printing, okay.
homesteading, you name it. Dark's had all these guys on.
Hell yeah.
Brandon Herrera, IV8888.
Joe Morris, what's up, my brother?
We need guys that can do, the financial side of it, guys that know how to grow, where to find non-GMO seed, shit like that, how to do the one thing. They're gun crazy, Coop. They're mainly focused on the weaponry because that's.
Let me throw in. I'll throw another guy out here. This is
There's also a
Wired
bunch
Tight.
of shooting events. Yeah, Wired Tight. He's a really good channel too. He's a good dude.
Wired Tight is guns, communications.
Also, we
and
do
if you
shooting
guys out in the
events, too.
chat think of anybody to throw out there, if you got a wrench, throw it. That's why all you guys got wrenches.
Oh shit, I'm not a mod. Yeah,
Grab that.
Oh, you're not a mod, Dark?
I am not
you
a mod.
suck.
Hell yeah.
know,
Hey,
right?
on the
hold on,
topic of
That means
3D
I'm
printing,
cooler than you, Dark.
I guess you are,
I bought
man.
myself.
Fuck. Dang it.
I bought myself an Ender 3 V2 Pro, and I
Damn.
bought some. I bought a galvanized titanium nozzle so that it didn't get clogged as much, which it didn't.
All right,
I
Dark,
bought
you're going
myself
on as
the
a
auto
managing
bed
mod.
leveling kit,
Are
and I
you?
basically bought everything except the printer hood. I'm sorry. Go ahead, guys. You were talking about.
I was just gonna ask, are you still printing, or what are you doing?
And Joe, throw
No,
your
I
channel out there
sold
too
it
if you
to a
haven't already.
friend because I went through all my
And team.
filament and it started getting too expensive. and I simply put could not get it to print anything that was not, flimsy and spongy.
Yeah,
I don't know,
settings
man.
is
I'm
everything.
thinking yeah, I know. And like, I actually went a while back on Print Shoot Repeats channel and told him what I was trying to print. And
Mhm.
he's like, dude, here's my settings. And I
Yep.
took a screenshot and pulled them up on my PC and had them right next to the Kira page, putting in the
Mhm.
settings.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I'm gonna
Funny
throw another
story,
channel
guys.
out there.
My girlfriend bought a filament dryer from the store, and she thought it was a dehydrator, and she gave it to me as a gift. And I don't 3D print, so if anybody wants a free filament dryer, I've got
Bro,
one.
is it
Well, let me.
is it eSun or is it what kind of
I've got no fucking idea, dude.
so a
Let me
filament
ask.
dryer is for like exotics like carbon fiber nylon, glass filled nylon, because you need to have it at like well really like 85, but usually they go up to 75 C for like 2 days or more. It has to dry, it has to be like bone ass dry. Like if you throw the silica gel packets inside of a bag, the carbon fiber nylon pulls moisture out of the silica gel. That's how crazy it is. It absorbs
Oh
moisture like
man, yeah.
insanity. And if you print it wet,
Oh,
it'll get a
wow.
glob. You won't get like, fucking like perfect like shit like that. That's not carbon fiber nylon, but either way,
Hold
it's
on.
PLA.
Since
But
Dark showed that off,
Well, let me
and
ask you this.
I've showed it off, and I've never finished it. I'll show you guys a fucking kick-ass FGC9 lower.
oh,
It's printed in. It was printed off of MakerBot, but this thing is carbon fiber reinforced. So it was printing
nice.
in the filament, but
Is it
also
like
carbon fiber reinforced.
is it
Are
like
your balls
PCF?
still
See,
itching,
how are
boiler?
you getting solid
Yeah.
prints like that?
Bro, look at this shit. Hold up.
This thing is crazy,
That's
and I
what I
still
was.
have to finish it.
That's what I was just
But I
fixing
am,
to ask you guys. Have any of you ever had any luck with the steel printers or the metal printers?
dude. Those are so expensive. I don't know
Yeah,
anybody that
the
has one.
SLA is extremely expensive. Make me big, Coop.
Hold on,
You know
I'll
what I
make you
really
big,
want
Dark.
is a
Hey, is it going to
is a
be as big
Ghost
as your
Gunner
deck? I just want to
3000.
know.
Maybe.
But if you can get the same performance out of like what you guys are doing, sounds like that's the way to go.
What is
This
that?
is
Yeah,
If you're
that's
printing standard
Is
filaments,
that FRN?
this is a PLA plus Duramic white. You see the stippling? It's already. I mean, you can't
Mhm.
even see any layer lines in this bitch. It's literally in
What
your
kind of
hand.
printer do you
crazy
have?
good.
I got a bamboo P1P. This is
Ooh.
printed as well. All the stippling is printed and all that. This is printed in the blood of my enemies filament. I mean, I run a 3D printing business though, so like I've got like 800 hours on my bamboo printer. It's
Oh
just
yeah.
I'd
buzzing
have
all
to.
day.
A
I'd have to
3D
What kind of
pull.
printing
printer is it?
business?
Yeah.
What
So
about
it's a bamboo P1P.
Are you
what?
selling 3D
I've
prints
got a
on the
printed
DLD
frame right here.
hardware store?
So
So
DLD Hardware is a jig
I'll show
store,
you
right?
guys.
Originally, I was selling basically reselling polymer 80 jigs,
So
but
this
I'm
is
doing
print. Not to interrupt, Dark, but this is printed off of a regular freaking Ender.
yep, that was the Freedom frame.
Well,
This is one that and the reason I posted 1776 in the chat, and I still got to clean up some stuff. But the reason I posted him in the chat is he got on a call with me one night
Mm-hmm.
and basically went through settings and bed leveling with me and everything. And I mean, Knuckles got that thing lined out. That frame is freaking solid.
Yeah,
nice.
what they were doing for a while is they were actually taking pre-slice. So you know how my guy that had an issue with the settings, you know
Yeah.
how getting your settings right is one of the biggest pieces. It sucks, right? What they would do is they would give people sliced files. So literally, if you had an ender and have never printed a day in your life, if you can level the bed, you can take the card, plug that bitch in, or from an email or whatever, and boom, like you
And
can
run a frame. Yeah.
yeah,
Nice.
they
That's what I did. That's what I did. I just downloaded preset files,
Yeah.
and it was
Yep.
advertised as you just level the bed. And I
Mm-hmm.
watched like 100 videos on all the operation and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I typed in, or I assembled the thing, and I did all my research, and I kind of made my own little printer hood with a big ass cardboard flap,
Mm-hmm.
and I left it, and it printed a um a High Point 9 mil Freeman lower,
And
but
you
it
said it was
wasn't
like
intact.
spongy?
Why would you
Yeah,
print a
like
High Point lower? Why
Dude,
would
that's
you do
because
that?
Look,
that's what
man,
they're all
the
doing.
High Point gets no love, man. Come on.
because I have a stack of High Point parts a mile high.
Fuck
Dude,
yeah.
I've told people before, like the first handgun, the first actual handgun I ever bought with my own money was a High Point 40 cal. But the damn thing was a tank, and it ran everything I put in it. So
I
I ain't
wouldn't
saying
tell
shit
people
about
that.
High Point.
To go back really quickly, so to answer Gabber Piet's question, so DLD hardware originally started when the ATF came in and said you have to separate polymer 80 frames and polymer
From the
80
jigs.
jigs. Yeah, I said, okay, well, fuck you, ATF. I'm going to start a jig company. And I originally did it just to basically flip a middle finger to the ATF because they were like, okay, they knew that these companies selling frames and slides and barrels and parts and all this shit, they're not going to go out of business just to sell jigs, and they can't run both companies. So I
Yep.
was like, the only way this, industry is going to stay alive is if people sell jigs and sell only jigs. So I was actually the first and only jig company that was operating when all that shit happened, August of 22. Since then, I developed my own jigs. They're way better. They bolt shut, so you don't have to tape them or anything like that. They're way more precise, and I 3D print them and sell them. And
Yeah.
sell.
And if you're doing, I'm not to interrupt Dark, but I got to brag on him.
No, you're
if
good.
you're doing ARs, he's got the flat punches. So when you're doing certain, like your bolt release and stuff on an AR, the side of the punch is flat, so you can lay it completely against the receiver and drive your pins in if it's not an actual thread-in pin. All kinds of stuff.
Game changer.
I haven't ordered everything from Dark I wanted, otherwise the fucker'd be rich. But the stuff I have gotten from Dark has been absolutely fucking solid.
At some point in the future, I'm going to get with you on. Do you do like 357 Magnums and 911s?
No, I haven't. I started getting into the
Yeah, Dark,
1911
do you do
jigs.
MG34s?
Yes, absolutely.
1776 supply code that I posted in the chat. They typically have a lot of stuff for 1911s. And I haven't done a 1911 build yet. I love 1911s.
I do too.
So do I.
When I get into that, I'll post stuff about tools and stuff. My next big build, I think, is going to be a set move. That's what my heart's set on.
I want to do a long gun at some point.
Yeah, that's
like
well.
Hey guys,
I'm the dumbass.
I gotta bounce out. MGTOW Phoenix is trying to get a hold of me. I'll catch you guys in a few.
Okay.
Peace.
Later,
Abe, what's brought you
most
here
people
today?
start
Abe?
out kind of building guns. They've done like
I wanted to figure
a
out
P80
how to stop having my balls itch.
or
You're very
done
quiet.
an AR. I jumped in doing an AK, bending it from a flat, welding in the rails, all that.
Yeah.
I'm ass backwards that way.
If I just ordered a gun flat out, like just completed and everything, how much would that run?
Man, that's like asking what car you want to build. It depends on the body style, the engine, the brakes, the rotors, the.
And are you talking about AR, AK, or like?
Right now, I'm just going to stick with a pistol because, I'm still in me and Cooper still in a concealed carry state. So,
Are you an Alabama outlaw?
Yeah, well, we're in Alabama. I mean, we can carry whatever we want.
I'm in Jefferson County.
Really? You're like right beside me. I'm in the same county.
You in Jefferson County?
Oh, both you guys in Jefferson?
Yep.
What the fuck?
God, I hate it here. The taxes are ridiculous.
And other
Dude, I
things
gotta
that
find
I
a,
can't
I gotta
say.
find a day where I can get up there and shoot the breeze with you guys.
Oh hell yeah, brother.
I'm all the way
Yeah,
up from
I'm
PA.
down here.
I'm down in Russell, man. I'm not far. I gotta jump like 2 counties and I'm in y'all's place.
You're
Well,
in
you got you
Brussels?
ain't
Isn't that
nobody
Germany?
here.
Russell County, not
So,
Brussels.
Dirk,
Russell.
8 Boiler isn't a retard. He actually has a background in robotics.
Well, ain't nobody here gonna dock. So I'm in the Bessemer Hueytown area, if you know where that's at.
Dude, you're literally right beside me. We literally live
kidding.
within 10 minutes of each other.
Okay, hell yeah, brother.
Oh
What the
shit, you
fuck?
guys are close as fuck.
What
Man.
what part of
Man.
I'm on oh, I don't want to dox myself.
Yeah, don't dox yourself.
Yeah, just take it offline. Let him into my
dude,
Discord or
hey,
something.
when we shut this chat down, which will be I don't know 30 minutes, because Dark's gonna have to get to the podcast, and then I'm gonna be in his in the stream over on Rumble. Dark, do you have the link for that yet?
You know what? I
Yeah, I'll
don't
come over and
believe
hang out.
it's been created yet.
Yeah, man.
Either way, before Dark leaves, hopefully he'll post the
Men go
link
their
for the
own way.
chat
That's
over on
what
Rumble,
it is.
and then before we move over there, all you guys in Alabama, let's get together.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Yeah, I'm down here in the Bessemer Hueytown area. God damn, these taxes are about to eat us alive, brother.
You like
Dude, they
cigars,
getting there.
Outlaw?
If I smoked, yeah, but I used to smoke like those blunts, those Swisher Sweets and shit.
Ew.
Hold on, like you used to smoke the shit that comes inside them?
Just the
Or did
Swisher
you
Sweet. Like
actually
I go to the
smoke the
gas
stuff that you
station on a
stuffed
job
them
or
with?
whatever, and I just buy a Swisher Sweet or something.
Bro, I've only anytime I bought Phillies, White Owls, Swishers, or anything, I've only done this with them. That's all I've done with. No, I'm saying, in my defense, I've not smoked trees for over a
Motherfucker smell
decade.
good,
Right?
Man, when I was like 18, I used to do the same thing, Dark, but I'd pull the tobacco out and then I'd smoke the tobacco and not the wrapper.
Oh shit.
So I also, it's funny you say that. Did you know you can take out the tobacco without cracking the Philly?
Yes,
And
I
then
know.
you can pack
I
it
didn't.
full with a dowel and fucking smoke. We used to call them
Oh
Gottis.
fuck.
Yeah, literally you could pack a quat in that motherfucker and smoke
I
7
used to dip too,
grams.
man. I used to dip them pouches and shit.
Nicotine junkie.
Dude,
I've
that
been
is the
working.
only
My
way I will
coworker-
dip is with a pouch, because
My
I can't
coworker
stand
calls
it
them
loose in my
tea
teeth.
bags.
They're good as fuck, but they
He
give me
shits
acid
on the
reflux,
pouches.
man.
My coworker, who I work with every day, we're doing service work, doing pulls. He fucking chews 7 cans of Grizzly a day.
Ooh.
7 cans. This dude will
A
pack
day?
the
His tongue's
fattest
gonna fall off.
a day, dude. Like the fucking lips he pack are the size of a goddamn gumball. It's
Dude, that
fucking
dude didn't have
incredible.
worms. I'll tell you that right now.
It's fucking insane, man. The truck smells like wintergreen all day fucking long. He's got the wintergreen dark fucking Grizzly or whatever. Man, today he bought 2 motherfucking rolls from the gas station and he packed both of them. All of it.
God damn.
Bro, let me.
Damn, that's a Weldon motherfucker right there, though, ain't he?
I'm gonna have to bounce, but real quick, I just want to let y'all know. Right now, you can get 1,000 rounds of 9mm brass 115 grain, either PMC bronze or CCI, Blazer brass for $239 for 1,000 rounds,
Damn, that ain't bad.
or shitty. Well, I'm sorry. Less quality control. Okay, shitty. BPS 124 grain brass full metal jacket for 219. Damn, 219 per 1,000 rounds, or MagTech
23
50
cents
round
ain't bad.
boxes. 50 round boxes and jacket at hollow points for $17.95. Fuck. Damn, that's all at AIM surplus.
Do you know what
Yeah,
ammo seek is, Dark?
I do. I'm familiar. Gabber.
Yeah, I am ammo seek curious. Yeah,
Bro,
I know.
if y'all saw my, I have an ammo problem, and first I had a gun problem, then I had a kit problem, then I had a medical problem,
No,
then I had
something's happened.
yeah, it was just always problems.
I'm still in the gun phase.
Yeah.
Yeah, this time last year I had one gun, and now I have 8 of them, and probably this time next year I'll probably have like 30, and I'm really
Good for
going
you,
in the
man.
wrong direction.
No, you're
Before I
going in the
forget,
right
because
direction.
I have to say it on another stream, I am pretty sure Ting Ting is the little Asian girl that wrecked David Hogg in that debate the other day.
Dude,
And
Ting
if you
Ting.
haven't looked up the Asian chick who wrecked David Hogg in the debate, that was Ting Ting.
Ting Ting is the man.
Yes, she is.
King is a man.
Does any of
No,
you guys
Ting
watch
Ting
Kentucky
is
Ballistics?
a
I watched
beautiful
that dude
woman.
yesterday.
Yeah, every once in a while, man. I started watching this stuff, I don't know, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And I watch this stuff occasionally.
Yeah, when he blew himself up, that's when I started watching.
That's I just
I
saw
was
that
watching
yesterday.
him a long time before that.
Dude, we
And
actually
the explosion when that gun went off in his freaking face was insane.
Now,
that was crazy.
As I understand it, the 50 cal bullet that he put in there was real hot.
No, it wasn't hot.
Yeah, I think that's what it finally came down to. Is
wasn't
it was
hot, like
loaded
it had too much
about
powder
2
in it.
times
Too much
pressure
powder,
it should have had.
It was
Yeah, it was
not too much
overpressured by
powder.
3 times.
It
Oh,
had
it
the
wasn't.
correct amount of powder in it. The
Okay.
problem is pistol powder burns way faster than rifle powder.
Yeah.
Whoever
Okay, yeah.
loaded that bullet put pistol powder in it. That's the difference.
Yeah, they're different burn rates. So I can take 20 something grains of one powder and 20 something grains of another powder and 20 something grains of another powder, and they'll all basically have the same grains, but the rate that they burn and the rate that they actually cause the gases to expand will be different. That's the reason you don't load a rifle caliber with a pistol and you don't load pistols with rifle powder. That's the reason you have all of these books that tell you, like AR Patriot, his channel I posted, and you can track him to at least 5 other good reloading channels. Or you can learn everything you want about reloading. That's the reason I posted AR Patriot.
I think they would invite you. Have you
What's
been
that?
to one of those? Have you been to one of the range days with Brandon Herrera?
Not one of theirs. I've gone to others. Like I've gone to the it's so funny, literally like last night I was wearing my IV88 range
be
day
right back.
shirt.
You'd
so I
think
mean,
they'd invite you because you've talked to Brandon. You'd think they would have invited you out.
yeah, dude, I'm such a small fucking channel, dude. Dude, I talked to James Reeves. I've talked to Brandon Herrera. I've talked to Eric. Out of all of those dudes that I've had like on the channel and shit, the only dudes that I talk to on like a more normal basis would be Eric with IV88, James Reeves, and like fuck. I mean, I don't know everyone else that like like y'all know that I would consider like a friend, like 2AEDU, fucking whatever, like the normal dudes. But yeah, sometimes when dudes come on and we do an interview, like I don't know, sometimes we don't click. But every single time I have somebody come on my show that, like, let's say somebody saw an interview done on another channel with like print shoot repeat, for an example, when they come on my show and people come and what, they're like, yo, I learned so fucking much more about that person when they came on your show versus when they were on so and so's show. So it's cool because what a lot of people don't know is that, like, professionally I interviewed people for like years, like thousands of interviews. So I got a little bit of a
How'd you meet Dugan?
I mean, I really never met him. I just got connected with him through. So, long story short, I was a huge Carnicon fan, like a fucking massive Carnicon fan, and he disappeared. And when he disappeared, like, I mean, it crushed like everyone that like watched the gun tuber sphere kind of start to grow. Everyone was crushed when Carnicon like was gone, right? And at that point, like, I was every few months just randomly searching on YouTube, like Dugan Ashley, Carnicon, like where's Dugan and all that. And after like 5, 6 years, something like that, when I was doing a random search, I just saw, I think it was Jonathan Picone's channel pop up, and it was like Dugan's Return, and I was like, what? And when he came back, he was talking about some like seriously based shit, and I was like, holy shit, he's not just a gun comedian, he's fucking super based, you know. And so he ended up, I was just seeing him
He
in his
may be
live
beyond
streams.
based.
Dude, he, yeah. So the way that I talk to like Rich on the phone every day is the way that I was talking to Dugan every fucking day. Like we were talking for like a year and a half, like every single day. And basically I was a mod, and in his chat I was like, you know, just one of those dudes, right? Like you know, kind of like how me and Coop and Rich and Crump, and we just all talk, right? Like it was like that. So when I was in the streams, I was a mod. Then when he made a fucking Discord, I was in there, I was a mod. We just ended up talking every fucking day. So we became like, you know, I mean, we became friendly, we'll say that. And then we were like, yo, these fucking hour long, 2 hour long conversations that me, him, and another dude are having, like, they would be great fucking streams. And he's like,
Yeah.
oh, fuck streams. Like, why don't we do a stream? He's like, let's do a something else. And we were like, all right, well, let's do a fucking audio podcast. So we started doing a podcast. It was called Dark Light Dugan, which is where the DLD originally came from. But the channel name was always Dark Light Dugan. It wasn't actually DLD. So anyway, we did it for like whatever fucking 6 months or whatever. And they both ended up fucking bouncing. And I was like, fuck this. I'm not giving the, I've been doing this shit for fucking 9 hours a week for fucking, you know, this long. Like, I'm not giving this shit up. I love it. And the community is dope as fuck, you know? So I was like, fuck this. I'm keeping the channel. And now it's fucking destructive liberty device. And
Sport Brand has told me this story before. The real question I have is, what happened to Light?
He forgot how to show up sober to a live stream. And okay. And you know what? If he okay, Coop, you can maintain your shit, right? So if you were like, if Gabber was like, so Dark, when did you? Oh, Gabber, you know, Gabber, you such a Gabber, you know, Gabber. So okay, I'm sorry, and for y'all that know,
Coop and I have that Alabama beer drinker strength.
yeah, like y'all have fucking iron fucking skillets for stomachs and shit. Like y'all are good. But I'm sorry, Cliff. But
Not
what
to say
happened
that
was
I have made an ass out of myself on many a stream sitting here drinking.
Dude, I used to
typically
fucking nod
after I've
off.
been up for like 20 something hours though.
Yep.
So there's a caveat.
Why do you think I stand on live streams now, bro? Because I will fucking nod the fuck off.
Bro, you're
straight
standing?
up.
You do it.
Bro, I stand on every fucking live stream I do.
We used to bet on we'd be in
What?
the stream on
I
Dark
thought you were in a
Cast.
chair this
I
whole time.
did do that.
You'd see Dark kind of nodding, and we'd be betting in the side chat whether Dark was going to pass out on stream or not.
Bro, straight up. But here's the deal. I mean, I'm on fucking well, you know what? Sorry.
Yeah,
so
that's
like
awesome.
Well, fuck it. I'm on Subutex and fucking a benzodiazepine. So like, you know, get me in a chair for more than 2.5 minutes. I'm nodding the fuck out. I don't care if I'm driving. Like I'm nodding, bro. So
Dark,
what's up?
do you really
Yes.
coming from
I'm just kidding. Sorry.
my sister did a lot of benzodiazepines, and at one
hold on,
point
did
she
you
was
say
on
Dark
6
just came in your
milligrams
system?
of Klonopin, right?
And
that's a lot.
I missed a little bit of
At
that.
one point, my sister, she's a doctor. I always told her, I was like, "You're fucking yourself up." She's like, "No, it's safe. I'm a doctor. I know." She was on 6 milligrams of Klonopin,
Ooh.
and that's like enough to kill a horse,
Bro.
right? So, are you actually? Is it like therapeutic, or are you kind of just like stuck in the fucking swing of taking this bullshit?
So it's kind of both, but there's other aspects to it which, when we have more time, I'm happy to, and I'm an open book about my recovery. Like
Yeah, Dark
I
always has been.
yeah, I'm happy to. I've done like 3 hour streams just on recovery from substance abuse. For people that don't know, in short, I was a former heroin addict. I got over 13 years clean, and part of it is because of this medication, right? And a fuck ton of willpower, and having a family and a daughter
Yes.
and all that shit, like, changes everything. But um so I mean, really both, yes. So I am on a remarkably low dose compared to what you just mentioned. Now, also what you just mentioned is an insanely high dose. So
Yeah, it's like she literally destroyed herself. She has an autoimmune disease now because her corpus callosum shrinks so much that she's like melting. Like completely
Ooh.
destroyed her body from taking that shit.
That's there's a difference, and I know this, and I've talked about me being on and off pills for years because back problems and all the painkillers I've been on and stuff like that. There's a
Mhm.
difference in between a maintenance medication that is keeping you level and something that is still kind of bringing you up to a level where you feel high. There's a
Yeah.
huge difference in between those two things.
Yeah. Yep. I am on this stuff just because I've been on it for so long, but also when I started on a buprenorphine type of medication, which is Suboxone, Subutex, Subsolve, there's a bunch of them now. It was so fucking new. They had no idea. Like, I'll give you this example. When I was on it, I was originally prescribed 16 milligrams a day, which is insanity. Keep
Yes.
in mind that it is more than 100 times more potent than morphine, but because of the balance of the buprenorphine, which is a partial analgesic, or yeah, like a painkiller, right? Kind of similar to a painkiller. It bonds to the receptors differently, but it also has a secondary part of the medication, which is akin to Narcan, but it's naloxone, right? They say it's inactive. It's not. It basically balances the shit to where you can't abuse the medication, right? So it kind of has a ceiling. But I was on an incredibly high amount of that medication, but I was also doing a bundle of fucking dope a day or more, and benzos and shit like that. So to not go into seizures and withdrawals and all this shit, they continued writing me scripts for benzos, but I was given 4 milligrams of Xanax a day, which is also insane.
Yeah.
So
That
move forward
freaking crazy.
like 6 to 8 years into my sobriety, I had a doctor that was like, "Hey, we've come so far in research of this buprenorphine shit that we're using for rehabilitation, right? And I want you to lead this group of men that are, getting clean and healthy and all that. Oh, and by the way, we're finding that you should be on buprenorphine for like 90 days and then get off of it." I'm like, "Oh, hold on, what?" Like, "Hey, I want you to lead this group, and by the way, you've been on this shit for 8 years, and you should have been done in 3 months." Like, we did you a terrible disservice, and you should have not been on this shit for this long, bro. I tried to get off of this shit when I was getting into the Air Force, and I actually stopped. I did not go into the Air Force, but when I went through, ASVABs and MEPS and all that shit, I had stopped taking it for more than 60 days. I was still in full blown withdrawals
Detox.
when I was
Yep.
pissing in
That's
a
what
cup
I was going to
for
ask.
ASVABs.
So
Yep.
if
Hey,
you
Dark,
stopped
hold on.
today,
Before we
you
do
would
this,
have withdrawals?
Hold on, say it
yeah,
again.
more than likely. Before we get into this, you got the uncensored at 10 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
Do you have the link for that yet?
I don't. It doesn't look like that stream was created yet. Let me refresh and double
I'll keep going.
check.
I'll keep going
Yeah.
until 10,
Yeah,
but
I
make sure you
can
post that and
I
it'll
can
I'll
shift
pop
pull up.
everybody from here to there.
I'll
Let me.
But
pop over.
I didn't
I'll
want to
see if-
stop you guys, but I want to see, I want everybody to get over to the uncensored. So
Yeah,
I
sure.
we don't have
appreciate
to stop. Just post the link before I kill this, and then
Hell yeah,
when
man.
you post the link, I'll kill this, and we'll move over there.
I'll do this. I'll pull up the homepage of Uncensored Podcast, and I'll share it with you guys if I can. I can't. Did you
because
make me a
when
mod by any
Uncensored
chance?
watch or when Uncensored starts, I want to be in the chat. So, but I
I
want
appreciate
everybody
that.
that's here now to come over to Uncensored.
Yeah,
and I realize it's a different
I think he
platform.
did
It's
make
a pain
you a
in the
mod,
ass
Dark.
sometimes.
He said
but
something about it.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah.
Let
So
me-
it's right there, right there. Sorry, what was your question, Gabber? I'm sorry,
So
I don't mean to
if
take the whole time up.
no,
talking about
Dark,
this
you're
shit, but-
fine, brother. Rock
I
and
asked
roll.
you a question.
Sure.
This is interesting to me. I like you, Dirk. What I asked was, if you stopped taking those two things today, would you go into withdrawals?
Yes, and not immediately.
Jesus.
Now,
That fucking sucks.
if there's one thing that you know about me, guys, is what do I do with where we are right now as a country, as a world, as the human race? What do I do?
Besides just being honest,
I prepare. Right?
So you've got like an infinite stash of this shit. That was my next question: is if fucking shit hits the fan
I will
tomorrow,
say
how
this,
are you going to cope?
Since
Yeah,
we're,
I'm gonna
since we're
cope
talking
like
about
that, or I'm
coming
gonna
off of
wash out my
stuff,
fucking mouth with buckshot. Sorry,
Yeah.
Coop, go ahead.
and then BB's coming in, but I will say this: talking about coming off on stuff. I came off of again being on years of painkillers
Hey,
like
BB.
last November. Not to say that I wasn't screwy for a couple of months, and I'm finally starting to kind of level out. And I'm not advertising for shit, but Kratom, the stuff that is now getting sold in gas stations down here.
Use code Coop and you get 20%. I'm just kidding.
Well,
Hang on one second. Let me
if
grab
you were
something.
coming off of that stuff, because I was on it for again, this was another range of a few years. If you're coming off of stuff and you need something kind of balance you out to not go through the serious withdrawals that you would go through after doing this for the last few months, I'd say that.
They sell Kratom in gas stations here in Alabama.
Georgia, not in Alabama.
Georgia.
But I'm right on the river, so it takes me like 5 minutes to cross the river.
Oh, I know where you're at
Yeah.
then.
I'm right down. If you know where Phoenix City's at, I'm right
Yep.
south of Phoenix City.
Yep.
So
I know
I can
exactly where
cross the
you're at.
river and I'm there.
Back in the day, I was struggling with
Yep.
addiction. Guys, I am 4.5 months clean from fucking smoking pot for a decade. Since I was 13
Rock
years
on,
old.
Gavin. More
And I was
power.
smoking I've probably spent anywhere close to $150,000 on pot in my whole life. Like that's not that much, right? But I'm
Yeah.
22. Like all of that
Well-
money could have gone to fucking something else. It was
Let me
a
ask you
waste of
this.
my time.
If you don't mind, of course, you don't have to answer, but how are you doing on the abstaining from alcohol?
This is how I'm doing.
Ah, okay. Then no judgment. I'm just curious. And it's 'cause
I've
I
been
can't.
doing better. I finally got like a real job where I'm not working under the table. I've got a W-2 now. So I've been
Nice.
like busy all the time. I got home pretty early today, but usually I don't even come into my door until right around now. And my alcohol consumption has slowed significantly over the last month. I haven't
Gabbert,
dropped
man.
it, but
I can't remember whether you started following Dark and then started following me, but you've been in the chats with both of us for a while.
I
Matter of
started
fact, you've been on
following
with me. In
Matt Hoover, and I found Dark through Matt Hoover, and then I found you randomly, Coop, because you popped up in my sidebar.
So you just flushed the
you
toilet
didn't-
and then you found me.
Hold on, you didn't find Coop through like
No,
our
I just found
really?
Coop through the sidebar, bro.
What?
Yeah, man. I
My
still on
channel is
YouTube.
not
I'll just get
advertised
recommended
whatsoever.
random streams with like one streamer.
That's
still to
fucking
this
awesome.
day.
Well, Coop, talking about red pill and MGTOW stuff, I'm shadow banned on YouTube too. They hate us.
Shit, I
With
haven't had
the
that
amount of
strike.
shit which I found outlaw off of bacon stream, and
Yeah,
then
goddamn
started
bacon.
following outlaw. And
Yeah,
I
I
think I
still-
did bacon off a Dark stream, but that's the
Oh
reason.
yeah.
All of you guys that are in here, especially after stay around for a few chats, that's the reason I give you wrenches, because I want you to post all this stuff. So if you got your own channel, BV's got the car channel where he does all the Matchbox stuff.
It's going to be a little bit, different when I get started.
I don't have
next
a
month.
house, but maybe one day when I have a house, I'll start my own channel. But I kind of like basically live in a box right now. And
That's the best fucking thing. Stay used to doing that shit. Stack up your fucking money, you retard.
Dude, I wish
Dude,
I
I don't want. I don't have a fucking oven. I don't. Have
I
a
don't give a shit.
refrigerator.
Buy
I don't
one.
have
Get
I
an
don't
air
have
fryer.
anything.
Pay
you have a hot
cash.
plate? Hot plate?
Get an air
No,
fryer.
I have a
no,
grill,
guys, hear
so
me
I
out here.
fucking
Hear
use
me out here.
propane.
You need to
Fucking
have
grill.
an oven and a stovetop. You do. That's fucking vital.
But that's
But
only if the
you
ATF
do not
comes.
need to have a shitload of space. You don't need 2 rooms. You don't need 3. You need like 1 to
Dude,
get your
I
ass
have
in.
1 room.
BV, I've
Dude,
got.
that's all you need.
I've lived out of a truck for years, guys. It's not
That's the
fucking hard.
problem
It's
with
just
me
about what
owning
you
30
do.
guns. Like, I have so many guns for how much
You
space
need a
I
room
have
for
right
guns,
now
okay?
that
You
they're
do.
fucking overflowing. And like,
Wait, you have.
this time
Hold
next
on.
When I
year,
was
Hold
20
on.
something,
I'll
I
have
would
Do
have
you have
married
money
you
problems
already.
and 30 guns? Because then you need to have like 28 guns and no money problems. And then get yourself out of your money problems because
no,
all
I
this
have
is
0
bullshit.
money problems.
Yeah, money problems
Okay,
are
good.
fine.
Well, do not get into a stupid high payment on a fucking car or anything dumb. Pay
But I
cash for all
want
your
an
stupid shit and
F-150.
get a fucking house
I
as
can
soon
get
as
the
you're
new
comfortably able.
F-150 with 700 horsepower supercharged for 40.
Don't buy it.
Oh,
Don't buy
man.
it. Buy it in cash. Buy it, yes. But when you go do the deal, go there knowing that you're paying cash for it. Go there, make the whole deal, get it all out, and then pay the motherfucker after you leave.
Hey, real quick, guys. Sorry. It is up. I'm gonna have to run. Here is the link of the actual show.
But that
let
is the
me
best
pin
way to
that.
get a deal. Make them think you're making a payment. Sorry.
So,
you're good.
So we're fixing to move over to the uncensored.
It's nice to
Dark
talk
just,
to you,
Dark
Dark.
just posted that.
YouTube.
Just stay here. No.
We're fixing to move over to uncensored. I want to watch Crump and
Put it on
Rich and
Rumble.
Dark get on.
Yeah. It's on Rumble.
As soon as I can.
BV,
Hold on. I
Thank
got
you
to
for
type
letting
some
me chat,
bullshit in the
guys.
chat to get over
Speaking
to
of
Dark.
Matchbox, BV, I've got an OBS Chevrolet ramp truck I need to show you.
I
Mark,
grabbed
look
one
up
thing
to
today,
Dark.
and then there's. Hold on, I can't reach with that on.
Go ahead, bro.
The only Matchbox that I've found Chevy so far
Not
is.
let me.
Oh,
this fucker.
the Tahoe.
Oh,
Yes,
wrong one.
I'm
Yes.
looking for that one.
I got one. I found this Super Chase my brother did. 2
I've
of these.
got. So you've got that one. I've got the OBS Johnny Lightning Tahoe.
Oh shit!
Fixing to put a lift on.
Outlaw, what did women
I
do
dude,
to
I
you?
gotta get my son watching BV's channel. My son's
That
4,
Lancer?
and he is all about cars.
This
That
Lancer, I
boy
did a
has
custom
I
one.
don't know how many Matchbox cars.
I think you should. Did
He
you show me that
loves
one
cars.
last time?
Probably.
What?
But this is a
What-
fucking Super Chase, and I'm like
What
stoked on that
Lancer
motherfucker.
is that? Is that an 8
It's
or a
the
10?
it's the Evo 4.
Evo 4. Okay,
It's
so
the
that'd be like
shit.
a 94, 95.
Lancers are my favorite cars. I
I've
wish
got an
they still
Evo.
made
I
them.
like them with an LS because
No,
I've got
LS
fuck
Evo
that.
10.
You know that the fastest all-wheel drive drag
Yes,
car
it's
on
the
the
Lancer.
planet is a Lancer.
I've
Yeah.
got an Evo 10.
But the
Hot
most
Wheels
reliable one is
Waco.
still a piece of shit, and it's an STI.
STI.
No, dude,
Gavin,
STIs
No,
are the
the ones
least
that blow the
reliable.
most, like okay, so there were so many WRXs that were built and bought that the aftermarket's there for the STI and it's not there for the Lancer. If you build the Lancer, it's going to smoke all STIs, but you're going to have a hard time. Same thing if you buy like the Cobalt SS and build that. That'll hold 1,000 horsepower.
Dude, my first
But the
girlfriend
only other
had
thing
an
that's going to do it is a
STI, and
Honda,
it
and
went
there's a lot more shit for the
bam,
Honda.
bam, and it just broke.
Yeah.
I've,
It's
You know
constantly
why?
breaking shit. The Honda's not
Because
going to break it as much.
the STIs are flat engines, right?
Yep.
And the
And
problem
they're just
with that
working
is
across.
they have 2 times as many moving parts as the average 4-cylinder.
And they
So
got forces
they're
that are
2
working on them like
times as
this
likely to
and like
break.
this and everything. Whereas these are just going like that, more or less, at an angle.
I like the Mazda rotary engines myself.
I like rotary, but we just don't have the tech for it yet. Well,
Yeah.
maybe now we do, but it's still
No,
fucking
it's just
expensive.
expensive.
But yeah, I've got an
But, yeah, if you're gonna
OBS
make power, do a rotary. Fuck it. Free speed.
BV. I've got a OBS Chevrolet ramp truck that I'm putting together custom that I want you to see.
My brother's got a couple of my. I sold all of my fucking like the ones that I'm not gonna make customs out of.
Yeah.
So and a couple of the first edition like Chevy ramp trucks that Hot Wheels did.
Mm-hmm.
They're still in a package,
How
but
did we
I'll
go
probably
from
get those
talking
from
about
him.
addiction
And
to Hot Wheels?
Bro, you don't know shit about this. I spent like what, $4,000 the last 8 months on fucking hospitals.
It's literally the most inexpensive yet
Good
expensive
God.
hobby you can do.
It's the most money
My
you can
son
spend
would
on a
be
dollar.
proud of you.
Yeah.
You got any cool guns recently, Coop?
Uh-oh, Coop's muted.
My son pulled up a game on his tablet the other night,
There
and
it is.
it would show a car emblem, like 3 of them are a car emblem, and you had to guess which car company it was. My son's 4. That joker was right 90% of the time with cars I've never seen in my life. And he was rocking them out. Mentioned some European car company I've never heard of.
Interesting.
Got this little Cadillac I need to do something with.
Ooh, nice.
This is amazing. But anyway,
Like these
guys,
little
I am going to end this one here because I am going to bounce over to Uncensored.
Yeah, I'm gonna go there.
The link for Uncensored should be pinned in the chat right now. Let me make sure.
Do your balls still itch, shape?
Because I've been on
my
it for
balls
a
do
while.
itch.
Dick.
BD, do you have any advice to like stop my balls itching? It feels like there's fire ants in them.
I totally missed whatever that was.
But Gabbard, I'll tell you
Too
real
quiet.
quick off stream where I'm at.
Yeah, but hey, that's what I was going to think of real fast. You guys that are in Alabama, hang out for a second when I
Yeah.
end this stream before you bounce, and
Okay.
let me get you my email and stuff, and then we'll work
All right.
out something where we can get together after a while.
Click that
Oh, yeah,
link,
man.
Outlaw, and it'll take you to Dark's Discord. Have you got Discord?
Yeah, the link's
yeah.
pinned at the top of the chat. But you guys that are in Alabama, hang out and let me make sure you got my email, and we'll try to get together sometime.
And there's a few other guys on my side that's over here in Alabama too. Gone with John. I don't know if any of you guys know him.
No,
He's
no,
up
not
in
offhand.
from what I understand, he's up in the Hoover Homewood area. So I need
Okay.
to see if I can get in touch with him. And then there's a guy named Postnut Clarity. He's near us. There's one other guy. Can't think. And we'll talk off stream.
Yeah, we gotta get together now, Alabama group, just to sit around, shoot the
Oh, yeah,
breeze,
man.
meet up one night in kind of a central place, and
No,
just
Coop,
hang out
I've
and
got to
shoot the shit,
make the
you know?
trek out to your pad so we can bump fire my AK into the dirt.
Oh hell yeah, dude!
Hey, we can do that too.
Hell
You
yeah.
did you see the first video I posted tonight?
I did not see that.
did
I've been real
not.
busy.
Oh, I'll have to show it to you. It's a Cerakote I did on one of my. Well, hell, I'll show you the gun after we get out of here,
Okay.
because we won't be online, and then I can't get banned from YouTube.
Are you going to join Dark's stream like talking?
Because I'll get banned from YouTube. But anyway,
Uh-oh, did he freeze up?
He did freeze up.
There it is.
One love, all you guys. You already know. We're gonna go over to the podcast with Dark and everybody. It's pinned at the top of the chat. You guys go ahead and head over. Let's get ready. Let's raise some hell in the chat. Have a little bit of fun. You guys that are on the panel, hang out for a second. We'll shoot the breeze for a minute before we bounce over to Uncensored.
Okay.
Other than that, you perks be cool. Keep that thing on you at all times, and we'll catch you guys on the next one, man. I love all you guys. Burnaby, now you're showing up. Burnaby, hit the link at the top of the chat, man. Come over to Uncensored with John Crump and Dark and Rich.
Hell yeah.
Burnaby's another really cool dude. It's been around forever. Coop, please help me. Boy, what do you need? Hey, join the chat again real fast, jackass, and we'll jump over to the side chat.
He's talking about
Your
his
balls are melting. Dude, I can't help you with that. I'm sure Mick, Chaos can scratch them for you, but it ain't going to be me.
I'm not doing it, bro.
I'll throw you a 20-pound bag of ice out of the ice machine. That's about all I can do.
That ain't happening.
All right, guys. We're out of here, man. And I love all you guys.
Yeah,
we'll see you guys in the Uncensored podcast. All right. So you guys be cool. Let's jump over.
Oh, God damn it.
Oh, hold on. Let me hit the right damn button.